It could be information to change your life forever. Or the Something You Should Know podcast could just be something interesting.
What separates a great restaurant from a good restaurant? A great restaurant will never refuse to seat 3 guests because the
more
fourth
than
guest
one
has not yet
occasion,
arrived.
him
If
being
you're
an
late for a
asshole
table
cost
gets
him his
much
job.
longer than 15
I know,
minutes past
okay.
your reservation
So
time,
they
a
wouldn't
great
have hired him
restaurant
back
will
if he
buy
was
you a
still
drink
that
or
asshole.
something for your inconvenience.
Join my Carruthers and
Verify your
guests
weather
for
over there.
Something
Get
You
that
Should
red
Know.
off.
Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll still do
Join
it.
Sean Hannity Sundays at 3 p.m. for the Encore Show.
Chinese, the Russians don't fear Joe Biden.
On News Radio 1440.
Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Blindster. Need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blind shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. And right now, save 45% off any order. Just use code RADIO at checkout. Blindster.com.
A summer-like day on the way, much like what we had this weekend, although rain and storm coverage will be lower today, around 30%, highs around 88 degrees, sun and clouds. It will be noticeably humid. The rest of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday specifically, are very similar to today, even lower rain chances each day, around 20%, sun and clouds, humid, and temperatures in the upper 80s, feeling like the lower 90s.
That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now, we are looking good. Your Monday kicks off with no major problems or accidents. Interstate systems moving into the Tri-County area from Clanton, Auburn, and Greenville. No problems on Highway 80 or 14 coming in from Selma, and 231 south out of Wetumpka, north out of Troy, still carrying light traffic. Got some fog in the lower lying areas, so make sure you leave early and keep your headlights on, low beam. New Toyotas are arriving daily at Reinhardt Toyota on the East Boulevard. You can also see their entire inventory and shop online at reinhardttoyota.com. Buckle up, it's the law for Montgomery Skywatch.
You know what?
This is
It
Major
makes me
Delay.
look like a
Selecting the
professional.
best choice for tires can be confusing with all the
That's
brands
what
and
it is.
options available. Trust the #1 rated tire pros in Montgomery and Chico's Auto Pros for your tire needs.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams with WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Monday. The manhunt is expanding for an escaped Alabama inmate accused of murder in the corrections officer who went missing. The pair, Casey White and Vicky White, who are not
All right,
related,
spend the money.
walked out of a jail west of Huntsville Friday
Let me see.
morning.
Lauderdale
See.
County
Okay,
Sheriff's
let me
see if I can
Office expected to hold a
find
press conference
what I'm
on
looking
Tuesday at
for.
2:30 a.m. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency is investigating the death of a man who went overboard on Lake Martin Saturday afternoon. Investigators say the victim is from Pell City and was traveling east on Elijah Bay when he went overboard. President Joe Biden will be touring Lockheed Martin in Troy tomorrow. That's a facility that makes weapon systems, including anti-tank missiles. The U.S. is currently sending those missiles overseas to help Ukraine fight against Russia. This will mark the president's first trip to Alabama since being elected. I'm Jasmine Williams of WSFA, and these are your morning headlines.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works overtime with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget's available in a concentrate or extreme reach hose-in. Purchase Wet and Forget in store or online.
Alrighty then.
Ace or Walmart.
Angie's List is now Angie, your home for everything home. With Angie, you could cross your next project off your to-do list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need and we'll handle the rest. Sending a top pro to get it done. Or browse reviews, compare quotes from pros, and connect instantly, all for free. For everything from routine maintenance to a dream remodel. Because however you want your project done, we'll get it done. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
There's nothing like hearing the songs you love on local radio with no subscriptions and no monthly fees. But there's a new bill in Congress that could stop the music. If passed, this bill would tax your local radio station simply to play the music you love. Text local to 52886 and ask Congress to support local radio stations. Help us keep you connected to the music, local news, weather, and traffic that you need each day. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
There you
Hi,
go.
I'm Dr. Lamre Falusi with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Did you know that tooth decay is an infection? Luckily, cavities are largely preventable. The bacteria that cause cavities pass from parents to children, so good oral health is a family affair. Take care of baby teeth as soon as they emerge by brushing them with a smear of toothpaste with fluoride. Talk with your pediatrician about your baby's oral health and take him to the dentist by age 1. For more, visit healthychildren.org.
He's smart, witty, and fast on the draw. It's Mark Levin this afternoon at 5 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
And here we go.
Sometimes you need to reset. Refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
Tomorrow morning, if you wake up and the sun does not appear, I will be here.
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It's time to rise and shine once again, if you can. For it's another day, believe it or not, you made it. And the Lord took mercy and grace upon you. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is News Radio 1440. It is time for our daily bread. A word from on high. A word that would change your perspective or give you a new one. Either way, it's good for the soul. And again, it is what is this? May the 2nd of 2022. It is a day that has never been, and it is a day that shall never ever come again. And once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get it back. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and undo all the things that you've done this day. And you certainly don't get a chance to come back to do the things that you should have done. So whatever it is that you do on this day, the 2nd day of May, 2022, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be glad and proud of what you have done this day. If we have lived a while, like most of us have, we have seen, we have heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace of God and a lot of mercy thrown in, we may, I'm not sure, but we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should not be, then it is this day. That is the first day of the rest of your life. What are you going to do with it? Well, whatever you do, make sure, if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done. Benjamin Elijah May said, whatever we do in life, we should do it so well that no man living, no man dead, and no man yet to be born can do it any better. And I say, if that is the standard by which you live life, you shall always be successful. Oh, you'll fail at a thing or two. We all do. But you will never be a failure until you quit. We say, give out if you must, rest if you can, but you never, ever, ever quit. You never give up, because quitters don't win. And although winners may lose every once in a while, they'll never be a loser. Whatever you do, keep moving forward. Martin Luther King said, if you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. Or whatever you do, you keep moving forward. Don't ever give up. Never, ever, ever quit. And no matter what happens this day, whether the storms come or the rain subside, it is still a great day to be alive. Good morning to you. It's time to rise and shine, Montgomery. It's a great day to be alive.
God hears and welcomes our prayers. Hey there, we're glad that you've joined us for another edition of Our Daily Bread. Our devotional reading today is titled Praying the Distance, and it was written by James Banks. Kevin wiped a tear from his eye as he held out a slip of paper for my wife, Carrie, to read. He knew Carrie and I were praying for our daughter to return to faith in Jesus. This note was found in my mother's Bible after her death, and I hope it encourages you, he said. At the top of the note were the words, "For my son Kevin," and below them was a prayer for his salvation. I carry this with me in my own Bible today, Kevin explained. My mother prayed for my salvation for more than 35 years. I was far away from God, and I'm a believer now. He looked intently at us and smiled through his tears. Never give up praying for your daughter, no matter how long it takes. His words of encouragement made me think of the introduction to a story Jesus told about prayer in the Gospel of Luke. In chapter 18, Luke begins with the words, "Then Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up." In the story, Jesus contrasts an unjust judge who answers a request merely because he doesn't want to be further bothered, with a perfect heavenly Father who cares deeply for us and wants us to come to him. We can be encouraged whenever we pray to know that God hears and welcomes our prayers. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from Luke chapter 18, verses 1 through 8. Then Jesus told his disciples a parable to show them that they should always pray and not give up. He said, in a certain town there was a judge who neither feared God nor cared about what people thought. And there was a widow in that town who kept coming to him with the plea, "Grant me justice against my adversary." For some time he refused, but finally he said to himself, "Even though I don't fear God or care what people think, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will see that she gets justice, so that she won't eventually come and attack me." And the Lord said, "Listen to what the unjust judge says. And will not God bring about justice for his chosen ones who cry out to him day and night? Will he keep putting them off? I tell you, he will see that they get justice, and quickly. However, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on the earth?" Let's pray. Abba, Father, thank you for the prayers of those who faithfully prayed for us and never gave up. We pray that you would remind us of those we love who don't know you and give us that same persistence, knowing that no one is beyond the reach of your love. Thank you, Father, and it's in Jesus' name that we pray. Amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Good morning. That's right. We didn't have any PT last week because the NCOIC felt sick and got COVID or something. But now this week, we're back to our regular thing here. Okay, let's do it. Okay. Come on now. Work. Oh, come on. Come on. Work, work. Work, do it every day. Oh. Hard work, work. I go to work. Hard work, work, work. That's what they say. Hard work. I earn my pay. Hard work, work. and earn my pay. Come on. Hard work, work. Go to work. Hard work, work. Hard work, work. Hard work, work. Here we go. I'm ready to rock. I'm running my pay. I don't know if I hear that out there. Oh well, little static in there, but we're still working. Hard work, work. He got a cold. He got a cold. Hard work, work. Moan and rain. That's what they say. Hard work. I do it for play. Come on. Hard work, work. Hard work, work. Send them on down. Hard work, work. Oh, yeah. The mission is gold. Hard work, work. I do it for play. Come on. Woo! Nothing's like a good PT first thing in the morning, 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, whatever time it is. And now we pay homage to all of our armed forces of these United States of America, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, and the Space Force. They don't have a song yet. They haven't did much. All right? But anyway, good morning to you. It's a great day to be alive. I'm feeling good. Hope you're feeling good. So now we're good. All right? Oh, good morning to the Montgomery Sheriff Department, Montgomery Police Department, Montgomery Fire Department, Montgomery Sanitation Department, Montgomery Maintenance Department, and it's honor the mayor. And no, I'll get on them later on. Anyway, good morning to you. And let's pay homage to all somebody's mother, somebody's father, somebody's aunt, somebody's uncle, somebody's sister, somebody's brother who wears that uniform this morning, saying in all kinds of places of the world, I'm willing to go so you don't have to. Outstanding. Can I get a big airborne? Hoorah! But I got my boots in the refrigerator. Well, not in the refrigerator. Okay. I got my boots in the closet, ready to go if I get a call. I'm just letting you know. I'm still jump worthy. But I want a 141 to jump out of there. I don't want to get in the C-17. Okay, I'm just saying. But I'll go if I have to, but I don't want to. Okay, I take that back. I think I might want to like one of those C-17s. I'll take that back. And last but certainly not least, home of the 82nd Airborne, Ranger Battalion, SF, Delta Force, and the home of the infantry, Fort Benning, the United States Army. I want to say good morning to all my Ranger buddies out there. Hoorah! 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 That's hoorah, that's a Marine Corps thing. Man, I feel good for a Monday for an old guy. That's right. Come on. Okay, I had to do it one more time. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope your day finds you well. Okay, now I do have a little presentation. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and get this out the way because my presentation Mondays we start out with something positive, okay, and then Friday we end with something positive. So what we got this morning. Oh, let me make sure I get her right now. What we have this morning is a young lady. Well, she passed away actually. Rita Pearson. Relationships and every child needs a champion. I think this is a really good. And this is all I be seeing all the time when I'm talking about schools and people and the teachers and stuff like that. But every child needs a champion. But it's also about relationships. Okay, because it's too late to have meetings in the school once the deed is done. We need to have more of those kinds of meetings before the deeds are done. All right. Anyway, so let me go to every child needs a champion and relationships right now because you need to hear this. All right. Then I'll be back with the lessons of life.
My entire life, either at the schoolhouse, on the way to the schoolhouse, or talking about what happens in the schoolhouse. Both my parents were educators. My maternal grandparents were educators. And for the past 40 years, I've done the same thing. But one of the things that we never discuss, or we rarely discuss, is the value and importance of human connection. Relationships. James Comer says that no significant learning can occur without a significant relationship. George Washington Carver says all learning is understanding relationships. Everyone in this room has been affected by a teacher or an adult. For years, I have watched people teach. I have looked at the best and I've looked at some of the worst. A colleague said to me one time, they don't pay me to like the kids. They pay me to teach a lesson. The kids should learn it. I should teach it. They should learn it. Case closed. Well, I said to her, you know, kids don't learn from people they don't like. She said, that's just a bunch of hooey. And I said to her, well, your year is going to be long and arduous, dear. Needless to say, it was. Some people think that you can either have it in you to build a relationship or you don't. I think Stephen Covey had the right idea. He said you ought to just throw in a few simple things, like seeking first to understand as opposed to being understood. Simple things like apologizing. You ever thought about that? Tell a kid you're sorry, they're in shock. I taught a lesson once on ratios. I'm not real good with math, but I was working on it. And I got back and looked at that teacher edition. I taught the whole lesson wrong. So I came back to class the next day and I said, look, guys, I need to apologize. I taught the whole lesson wrong. I'm so sorry. I said, that's okay, Miss Pearson. You were so excited. We just let you go. For years, I watched my mother take the time at recess to review, go on home visits in the afternoon, buy combs and brushes and peanut butter and crackers to put in her desk drawer for kids that needed to eat, and a washcloth and some soap for the kids who didn't smell so good. See, it's hard to teach kids who stink. And kids can be cruel. And so she kept those things in her desk, and years later, after she retired, I watched some of those same kids come through and say to her, you know, Miss Walker, you made a difference in my life. You made it work for me. You made me feel like I was somebody when I knew at the bottom I wasn't. And I want you to just see what I've become. And when my mama died 2 years ago at 92, there were so many former students at her funeral. It brought tears to my eyes, not because she was gone, but because she left a legacy of relationships that could never disappear. I have spent my entire life either at the schoolhouse, on the way to the schoolhouse, or talking about what happens in the schoolhouse. Both my parents were educators. My maternal grandparents were educators. And for the past 40 years, I've done the same thing. And so needless to say, over those years, I've had a chance to look at education reform from a lot of perspectives. Some of those reforms have been good, some of them have been not so good. And we know why kids drop out. We know why kids don't learn. It's either poverty, low attendance, negative peer influences. We know why. But one of the things that we never discuss, or we rarely discuss, is the value and importance of human connection. Relationships. James Comer says that no significant learning can occur without a significant relationship. George Washington Carver says all learning is understanding relationships. Everyone in this room has been affected by a teacher or an adult. For years, I have watched people teach. I have looked at the best and I've looked at some of the worst. A colleague said to me one time, they don't pay me to like the kids. They pay me to teach a lesson. The kids should learn it. I should teach it. They should learn it. Case closed. Well, I said to her, you know, kids don't learn from people they don't like. She said, that's just a bunch of hooey. And I said to her, well, your year is going to be long and arduous, dear. Needless to say, it was. Some people think that you can either have it in you to build a relationship or you don't. I think Stephen Covey had the right idea. He said you ought to just throw in a few simple things, like seeking first to understand as opposed to being understood. Simple things like apologizing. You ever thought about that? Tell a kid you're sorry, they're in shock. I taught a lesson once on ratios. I'm not real good with math, but I was working on it. And I got back and looked at that teacher edition. I taught the whole lesson wrong. So I came back to class the next day and I said, look, guys, I need to apologize. I taught the whole lesson wrong. I'm so sorry.
I did that.
I said, that's okay, Miss Pierce.
I
You were
to
so
hear it twice.
excited. We just let you go. I have had classes that were so low, so academically deficient that I cried. I wondered, how am I going to take this group in 9 months from where they are to where they need to be? And it was difficult. It was awfully hard. How do I raise the self-esteem of a child and his academic achievement at the same time? One year I came up with a bright idea. I told all my students, you were chosen to be in my class because I am the best teacher and you are the best students. They put us all together so we could show everybody else how to do it. One of the students said, really? I said, really? We have to show the other classes how to do it. So when we walk down the hall, people will notice us. So you can't make noise. You just have to strut. And I gave him a saying to say, I am somebody. I was somebody when I came. I'll be a better somebody when I leave. I am powerful and I am strong. I deserve the education that I get here. I have things to do, people to impress, places to go. And they said, yeah. You say it long enough, it starts to be a part of you. And so I gave a quiz, 20 questions. Student missed 18. I put a +2 on this paper and a big smiley face. He said, Miss Pearson, is this an F? I said, yes. He said, then why'd you put a smiley face? I said, because you on the roll. You got 2 right, you didn't miss them all. I said, and when we review this, won't you do better? He said, yes, ma'am, I can do better. You see, -18 sucks all the life out of you. +2 said, I ain't all bad. For years, I watched my mother take the time at recess to review, go on home visits in the afternoon, buy combs and brushes and peanut butter and crackers to put in a desk drawer for kids that needed to eat, and a washcloth and some soap for the kids who didn't smell so good. See, it's hard to teach kids who stink. And kids can be cruel. And so she kept those things in her desk, and years later, after she retired, I watched some of those same kids come through and say to her, you know, Miss Walker, you made a difference in my life. You made it work for me. You made me feel like I was somebody when I knew at the bottom I wasn't. And I want you to just see what I've become. And when my mama died 2 years ago at 92, there were so many former students at her funeral. It brought tears to my eyes, not because she was gone, but because she left a legacy of relationships that could never disappear. Can we stand to have more relationships? Absolutely. Will you like all your children? Of course not. And you know your toughest kids are never absent. Never. You won't like them all, and the tough ones show up for a reason. It's the connection, it's the relationships. And while you won't like them all, the key is they can never, ever know. So teachers become great actors and great actresses, and we come to work when we don't feel like it, and we listen to policy that doesn't make sense, and we teach anyway. We teach anyway because that's what we do. Teaching and learning should bring joy. How powerful would our world be if we had kids who were not afraid to take risks, who were not afraid to think, and who had a champion? Every child deserves a champion, an adult who will never give up on them, who understands the power of connection and insists that they become the best that they can possibly be. Is this job tough? You betcha. Oh God, you betcha. But it is not impossible. We can do this. We're educators. We're born to make a difference. Thank you so much.
First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Blindster. New blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds and shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. And right now, save 45% off any order. Just use code radio at checkout. Blindster.com.
A summer-like day on the way, much like what we had this weekend, although rain and storm coverage will be lower today, around 30%, highs around 88 degrees, sun and clouds. It will be noticeably humid. And the rest of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, specifically, lower rain chances, clouds, humid, and temperatures in the upper 80s, feeling like the lower 90s.
That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Okay then, let me see.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. So far, so good. As far as accidents go, no major problems have been reported. As far as issues go, we do have some visibility issues in the low-lying areas due to heavy fog, especially on Millbrook, Scrapple area, so use caution. Leave early, drive slower, keep your headlights on low beams for the fog. Premier's Place has it all. Shop Potato Fashion, Sally Beauty, Professional Nails and Spa, America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses, and more. Premier Place in Prattville, another great McClinton and Company development. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Deluxe.
Selecting the best choice for tires can be confusing with all the brands and options available. Trust the #1 rated tire pros in Montgomery and Chico's Auto Pros for your time needs.
Now that we're getting back to normal, let's get our kids the academic support they need too. Whether you can tutor, mentor, or just have a little time to serve in your community, GetReadySet.org can match you up with a student in your community that suits your talents and time.
Get more information about Ready, Set, and Project Shine on our website, newsradio1440.com.
Hi, this is Tom Latham with Penny Earning Concrete Technologies. For years, you've heard me talking about our concrete projects, from stamped and patterned concrete to foundations for commercial manufacturing. driveways to commercial parking lots, even heavily invested in polished concrete for durable and inexpensive long-term service. What you may not know is we have equipment for clearing lots for construction, clearing and ridding land of scrub and underbrush. We cut roads, clear fence lines, clear pond dams, and pretty much any application where land is overgrown. We have mulchers that can grind underbrush into shreds and return it to nature for compost. Our equipment is minimally invasive, not disturbing and not turning your property where additional grading might be necessary. To clean or clear your property, call Penny Earned at 334-284-9292 and let us transform your overgrown property into a manageable and productive one. Check us out on Facebook at Transformers or call 334-284-9292.
At Rock and Roll Sushi, you can expect flavors that will rock your taste buds to their core. We're the original American-style sushi experience, founded on great food, true love, and rock and roll. Founded in Mobile, Alabama, and then carried across the Southeast to over 50-plus locations. We're prepared to deliver sushi and hibachi, how it's meant to be amplified. Rock and Roll Sushi brings concepts and flavors that are big, bold, and loud. Stop into any location to experience the rock you love and the rolls you love with the ones you love. You can even take the rock with you. Order carry out online or really turn the volume up on your next gathering with Rock and Roll Sushi platters. Now, with new ownership, new management, and a new vibe. 2 great locations to serve Montgomery on Taylor Road and Dexter Avenue. Come see why we're the crowd favorite today.
And we're offering you another sweet deal from Rock and Roll Sushi. Starting Friday, April 29th at 8 a.m. Head to this station's website to get $50 of Rock and Roll Sushi for just $25. Just click Sweet Deals.
Kids don't learn from people they don't like. That's true.
All creative minds.
That is so true.
To engage, enlighten, and elevate a diverse, inclusive cultural arts community. They're committed to strengthening and showcasing organizational and individual cultural endeavors in our hometown. To advance this cause, they're seeking individual artists, artisans, advocacy groups, schools, and avid patrons of the arts. If this is you, visit montgomeryal.gov and click on the Cultural Affairs page to register to be part of Montgomery's creative community.
It's a fact. Guys hate going to the doctor. But when it comes to erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues, men from all over Montgomery have been thrilled seeing Dr. Alderson, providers at Montgomery Men's Health. Men all the way up to 95 years old have jump-started their sex drive and energy levels. Lots of men suffer with ED for years, but now they're able to enjoy sex again. Tom from Montgomery said, Montgomery Men's Health has changed my life. I have been able to be intimate with my wife for the first time in 5 years. She thought this problem was because of her, but the pills never worked for me. I had given up until I went to the clinic and realized there were more options for erectile dysfunction. Now I'm happy and my wife is happy. A visit for only $99. And that includes all testing, including a PSA and testosterone test. Give the guys at the clinic a call at 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
Don't miss Sean Hannity.
Biden incoherently adheres.
Live this afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
Alrighty then. Okay then. I was engaged in propaganda on the computer a couple seconds ago. So you know what time it is, right? It is time for lessons of life. You know, those are the things that we have to. Okay, I got simple. Okay, I appreciate simple ballot. You know, they got these. They got this new poll out now that said there's other guys leading who I've never heard of. Is leading Kay Ivey. I've never heard of the guy, but we'll talk about that and other things as soon as we get done with the important stuff here. And of course, important things, of course, is lessons of life. And these are the things that we learn by living. But anyway, good morning to you. I hope this day finds you well and you're okay. Lessons of life are the things that you learn by living. You can't learn them any other way. You can't pick them up on the side. These are just things that you just learn by just living. As soon as I find them, I got them up here. So, oh, there they go right there. I knew I had them up here some kind of way. Okay, stop sending me stuff right now. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll get to those guys in a little bit. Anyway, lessons of life and the word of the day. Now, the word of the day is an interesting word. Now, this is for the kids headed to school. Is anybody headed to school this time of day? Does anybody got to be at school at 7 o'clock? I don't really know what time? Zeke goes to school before I get back. So I don't really know what he be doing most of the time. But anyway, I know no teacher has ever called me and said he's not doing what he needs to do. That's the kind of kid you want. I don't have to worry about it. Anyway, good morning to you. Now, what is the word of the day? Well, the word of the day means large or formidable. Formidable. Okay, large or formidable. Like if I were to say, like if you saw a tally of ships, like aircraft carriers and torpedo ships and all that stuff coming at you, you know that you need to be someplace else. Okay, I mean, if you saw the USS Kitty Hawk and the USS Ronald Reagan and the USS George Bush and the and all the rest of those ships out there, if you looked out on the horizon and you sat in Honolulu and you looked out on the horizon and you saw all these formidable ships coming at you, there's only one word that fits that occasion, and that is this word, Leviathan, which means something that is large or formidable. Okay, Leviathan. Okay, remember that word. So if you're in school and the teacher gives you a test and you say, Mr. Johnson, this is a Leviathan of a test. But I'll do my best. Now, if he doesn't understand that word, then maybe you do good on the test because he won't know what the word means either. All right? Outstanding. Outstanding. Now, the lessons of life. Now, these are something that it takes us a while to get a hand around sometimes because we think we got everything under control. I was listening to one of the dumbest things that a human being can do. Seriously, one of the dumbest things that a human being can do, depending on what you believe, is you actually believe you can help God. I mean, you really believe it. You think that God needs your help. Okay, I mean that's one of the. If there was ever a dumb thing for you to think, okay, that would be it. Out of all the things that you ever thought about in the world, that would be it. Okay, yeah. God does not need our help. I'm just trying to, even though me too, I've thought that a couple of times, thought I'd help him out too, but it never works out good for me when I think I'm trying to help God. It doesn't help out. But that's not the issue. But it goes along with the life lessons. Failure. We don't like to hear about it. We don't, normally the word failure and good news does not live in the same sentence. Failure and good news does not live in the same sentence. That's from Reverend Elkins. But every once in a while, it does. And this happens to be one of those times where the word failure has some good news, some good connotations to it. I know you said, what? Failure? I mean, my whole life I heard about failure. There's never anything good about failing. Well, there's one thing good about failure. As a matter of fact, Rick Rigsby said, I am not, when he did the advice of a third grade teacher, he said, I'm not concerned about you succeeding. I'm concerned that you'll never fail. And there's a lesson in that. But let me get back to this. Let me digress. Because failure is not your enemy. It is your teacher. Okay? And if you look at it that way, it's not totally bad. Now, unless you're doing brain surgery on me and you failed at that, then it might, but you won't do the same thing on the next operation. I'm hoping, So failure is not your enemy. It is your teacher. When you fail at something, take a look at what you have been doing. Adjust or change your approach to it until you achieve your objective. Okay, I mean, don't make a habit of failing. I mean, after all, you only get so many of them. Okay. So when you fail at something, take a look at what and how you are doing it. Adjust and change your approach until you achieve your objective. So failure, again, is not your enemy. It is your teacher. All right. So that is the lessons of life today. Unfortunately, you got to get a little age on you before you realize that all them failures that you did taught you a lot of things, and you still got to this point in your life today. Okay, I'm just saying. So you might want to put that under your hat someplace. So failing a test. Listen, when I first went down to the Army and took the ASVAB test, I scored it was mighty low. Now I don't know if I failed because I was dumb or I failed because I didn't take the test seriously, whatever the case may be. But I tell you what, I did a much better job the next time I took the test because I knew what I should do, and that was study. Okay? It is a Monday morning. It is May the 2nd. It is the 122nd day of this year. It was on this day in 2011 that Osama bin Laden was killed by elite American forces at his Pakistan compound, then quickly buried at sea after a decade on the run. Now, there are some people say we didn't really get him. I don't know. I wasn't there, but I'm going to go along with the boys in green and said, okay, man, we got him. The year was 1519. Artist Leonardo Da Vinci died in France at the age of 67. In 1536, Anne Boleyn, second wife of King Henry VIII, the eighth, was arrested and charged with adultery. She was beheaded 17 days later. In 1863, during the Civil War, Confederate General Thomas Stonewall Jackson was accidentally wounded by his own men at Chancellorsville, Virginia. He died 8 days later. We need to have a congressional inquiry into that because how you gonna accidentally shoot the general? Come on now. Come on. What's up with that? Anyway, 1908, the original version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game with music by Albert von Tilzer and lyrics by John Norworth was published by Von Tilzer New York Music Company. The year was 1927. The U.S. Supreme Court in Buck versus Bell upheld in an 8-1 decision a Virginia law allowing the forced sterilization of people who promote the health of the patient and welfare of society. Woo! That's a. Did we ever rescind that? Because that is a wow, man. I didn't know that. The U.S. Supreme Court in Buck versus Bell upheld an 8-1 Virginia law allowing the forced sterilization of people to promote the health of the patient and the welfare of society. Wow. Woo-hoo. I'm glad I wasn't born then. 1941. Was that an American law? Yes, it was. Sounds like communist to me, or socialism. 1941, General Mills began shipping its new cereal, Cheerios, which Cheery Oats, it was Cheery, Cherrioat, at Cheery Oats, to 6 test markets. The cereal was later named Cheerios. The year was 1957 on this day. I hadn't got here yet. I was coming up on May the 16th in 1957 in this month. Crime boss Frank Costello narrowly survived an attempt on his life in New York. The alleged gunman, Vincent the Chin Gengati, was acquitted at a trial after Costello refused to identify him as the shooter. Senator Joseph R. McCarthy, a Republican of Wisconsin, died at Bethesda Naval Hospital in Maryland. In 1968, The Odd Couple, a movie version of the Neil Simon comedy starring Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau, opened in New York. The year was 1972. A fire at the Sunshine Silver Mine in Kellogg, Idaho, claimed the lives of 91 workers who succumbed to carbon monoxide poisoning. Longtime FBI Director Edgar Hoover died in Washington at the age of 77. 1982, the Weather Channel made its debut. Believe it or not, and it's still going. It's one of those things that the weather. Hey, Weather Channel. Who would think that people be that interested in the weather? But we are. So it's a great channel, as a matter of fact. 1994, Nelson Mandela claimed victory in the wake of South Africa's first democratic election. President F.W. de Klerk acknowledged his defeat. In 2008, tropical cyclone Nargis struck Myanmar, leading to an eventual official death toll of 84 34,537, with yet and still 53,836 people listed as missing. Well, we haven't found them by now. Bless their soul, they probably don't. Mildred Loving, a black woman whose challenge to Virginia's ban on interracial marriage led to a landmark Supreme Court ruling striking down such laws across the United States. She died in Virginia at the age of 68. 13 years ago, the Dallas Cowboys' talent, like practice structure collapsed during a severe storm in Irving, Texas. A dozen people were hurt, including scouting assistant Rich Bem, who was left paralyzed from the waist down, and special teams coach Joe DeCampus, whose neck was broken. Wow, that's a tough one. 8 years ago, President Barack Obama and German Chancellor Angela Merkel met in the White House, where they threatened tough sanctions on broad swath of Russian economy. We talking to them then too, huh? Oh well, didn't work out too good for us then. And one of my favorite actors of all time, one of the favorite shows. He died 8 years ago. One of the greatest shows ever be on TV, the FBI. Actor Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., 95, died in Solvang, California. Man, have you ever watched the FBI? Oh, I guess I gotta go. Yes, about time to go. Anyway, I gotta go. Sorry about that, but if you ever get a chance to watch FBI, you need to go watch that thing. Okay? It's really was a great. You can find it on YouTube or someplace like that. Okay, now we'll come back with happenings of the day. I hope you enjoyed that. Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Now that was before it became all political and all. All right, we'll see you later. Don't you guys go to sleep or wake up, whatever you do.
WSFA 12 News Update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams of WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Monday. The manhunt is expanding for an escaped Alabama inmate accused of murder and the corrections officer who went missing with him. The pair, Kelsey White and Vicky White, who are not related, walked out of a jail west of Huntsville Friday morning. The Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office is expected to hold a press conference on this today at 10:30 a.m. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency is investigating the death of a man who went overboard on Lake Martin Saturday afternoon. Investigators say the victim is from Pell City and was traveling east on Pelagia Bay when he went overboard. President Joe Biden will be touring Lockheed Martin in Troy tomorrow. That's a facility that makes weapons.
Well, you know he's in Alabama?
Anti-tank missiles.
I'm just asking.
The U.S. is currently sending those.
Well, he knows he's in Alabama. That's what I need to know.
Against Russia.
He'll probably think he's in Canada.
First trip
I ain't mad at him. Don't get me wrong.
I'm Jasmine Williams of WSFA, and these are your morning headlines.
WLWI AM, the home of the Ben Shapiro Show, and heard on 95.1 HD3 FM, Montgomery.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Dozens of Ukrainians trapped in a shelter in Mariupol have begun arriving in Ukrainian-held Zaporizhia. Correspondent Charlie Daggett has some of their stories.
From beneath the rubble and remains of the pummeled steelworks plant, days survivors emerged to the light of day. I can't believe it. 2 months of darkness and eternity is Nova. We did not see any sunlight. We were so scared. Explosions were reported in the Russian border town of Belgorod, where social media video captured a military installation on fire.
The chief economist at the UN's World Food Program expects the war will take a toll on global grain and bread supplies soon. Arif Hussein tells CBS's 60 Minutes.
No labor, no fuel, no machinery. Our estimates are between 30 to 50% will actually be harvested. Would that have an impact on the world? Hell yes.
A suspected killer is on the loose in northwest Alabama. Correspondent Janet Shamlian says a prison employee is also missing.
The county's assistant director of corrections, Vicky White, left the detention center alone with inmate White in direct violation of department policy requiring a 2-deputy escort. At the time, she said they were headed to a mental health evaluation at the courthouse, less than 5 minutes away. The duo never arrived. and it's since been confirmed no such evaluation was scheduled.
Prison officials say the inmate and the officer are not related. The American Academy of Pediatrics is telling doctors to ignore what it calls flawed guidelines linking race to risks for urinary infections and jaundice in newborns. The lead author says they're part of outdated advice that's come under increasing scrutiny since George Floyd's death. President Biden paid tribute to another former vice president, Walter Mondale, at a COVID-delayed memorial in Minneapolis.
At his core, Fritz embraced everybody with the belief that everyone's entitled to be treated with dignity. Everybody. Dignity, not just the right to vote, dignity.
Mondale served under President Carter. He was also a senator. Mondale died last year at the age of 93. The Judds were inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame a day after Mom Naomi died.
I'd gladly walk across the desert.
Brandy Carlisle posted a song she'd planned to sing before she was sidelined with COVID. Naomi's daughter and singing partner Winona spoke.
I'm going to make this fast because my heart's broken. I feel so blessed, and it's a very strange dynamic to be this broken and this blessed.
Naomi Judd died Saturday. She was 73. This is CBS News.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage. Whether you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance yours, Rocket Mortgage can help you get there. For home loan solutions that fit your life, Rocket can.
Stress. It never seems to end when you owe money to the IRS. What about the years of unfiled tax returns? Have you tried another tax service and gotten nowhere? Then you need Tax Alliance. Why? Years of being A+ rated with a Better Business Bureau with no consumer complaints sets them apart. Call 800-987-1097. That's 800-987-1097. Don't wait until the IRS attacks your wages, bank account, your home or pension, and even your Social Security check. Tax Alliance specializes in IRS tax relief programs, including the Fresh Start Initiative, which can finally free yourself from IRS debt. Their tax professionals can file returns, fight the IRS to substantially lower your IRS debt, or possibly even have it forgiven. If you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes, have unfiled tax returns, or have a payment plan and are still frustrated, call 800-987-1097. That's 800-987-1097.
Tax Alliance, your tax resolution solution.
They're loosening COVID rules in the entertainment world.
People no longer have to show proof of vaccination before seeing a Broadway show or play. Most theaters in New York scrapped the policy Sunday, but hang on to those masks. People will still have to wear them through at least the end of May. The change is coming despite several shows canceling performances this year because of COVID. Monica Ricks, CBS News, New York.
Happy birthday to William and Kate's daughter. The UK's Princess Charlotte turned 7 today. Her mom and dad, the Duchess and the Prince, shared new photos taken by Kate in Norfolk. They feature Charlotte with a missing tooth or two sitting in a field of flowers, wearing a cornflower blue sweater with a polka dot Peter Pan collar peeking out. Her long brown hair is loose as she hugs the family's black Cocker Spaniel. Charlotte is 4th in line to the throne, right behind her big brother, Prince George. Younger brother, Prince Louis, turned 4 last month. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Jeff Blanker with Chappie's Deli. Mike, listen.
Hi, Mike Costanza with Chappie's Deli. Jeff, what is that?
It's the Chappie's Deli Grill. Let's do a commercial about grilled onions.
Grilled onions? Oh, yeah. People will be knocking the doors down to come in for that.
It's psychology, Gramps. It's a subtle message that tells a story.
Jeff, we can't do a Chappie's Deli commercial only about grilled onions.
Mike, it tells everyone 2 things. Number 1, we cook on real grills at Chappie's Deli. No better flavor.
You will find a grill master at each Chappie's. Big difference between a Chappie's Deli grilled Reuben versus a microwave or steamed.
And number 2, where else can you get grilled onions on a sandwich?
Yep, that's what Chappie's Deli is all about. You want something special? Just ask. So come to Chappie's Deli, Perry Hill, Pepper Tree, Prattville, Baptist South Towers, and Auburn for some psychology.
No.
Oh yeah, the onions.
No, Gramps, the grill. The grill.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs is calling all creative minds. The department exists to engage, enlighten, and elevate a diverse, inclusive cultural arts community. They're committed to strengthening and showcasing organizational and individual cultural endeavors in our hometown. To advance this cause, they're seeking individual artists, artisans, advocacy groups, schools, and avid patrons of the arts. If this is you, visit montgomeryal.gov and click on the Cultural Affairs page to register to be part of Montgomery's creative community.
Politician Mike Durant says he's conservative, but have you looked to see who's behind him? Never Trumpers, same people who backed Hillary and Biden. Now they're here in our backyard, trying to trick us into backing their man, Mike Durant. These Never Trumpers recruited Mike Durant, asked him to be their man in Washington. Mike Durant's ads, they're funded by wealthy California donors, Never Trumpers. So why are these Never Trumpers backing politician Mike Durant? Because when Mike Durant talks about gun rights, he sounds like them.
From a military perspective, the first thing that needs to be done is to disarm the population. I mean, let's face it, if we can do that in some of our U.S. cities, that would be a pretty good step toward law and order.
Disarm the population. Have the government go door to door and take our guns. No wonder the Never Trumpers.
That ain't what he was talking about.
Once you see where he stands,
y'all, you guys are such
Alabama Rhino Pack is paid for by the Alabama Rhino Pack and unauthorized by the Candidate or Candidates Committee. AlabamaRhino.com.
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works overtime with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget's available in a concentrate or extreme reach hose-in. Purchase Wet and Forget in store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
Angie's List is now Angie, your home for everything home. With Angie, you could cross your next project off your to-do list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need and we'll handle the rest. Sending a top pro to get it done. Or browse reviews, compare quotes from pros, and connect instantly, all for free. For everything from routine maintenance to a dream remodel. Because however you want your project done, we'll get it done. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
Telling it like it really is.
That's the fact, Jack.
It's the Dan Bongino Show. Weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio 1440.
Alrighty then, where is my thingamajigger? And there it is, right there. Good morning, one and all. You know, a little sad news this morning that I have to share with you guys this morning. And most of Alabama already knows about this, but since I have a relationship with this young man, I just thought I would give our condolences to him. I don't know if most of you know this or not, but John McMillan, who is who now is head of the cannabis, used to be an agriculture secretary for years, the leader. Now he is in charge of the cannabis commission. That was his brother, his twin brother, as a matter of fact, who died last week at 80 years old. And I just want to, he was always an amenable man to come up. I mean, John is still always an amenable man to come up here. Every time we ask him to show up, he shows up without giving us a bunch of excuses. He always comes. We just want to give, we the Cumulus family, along with the rest of the state of Alabama, we want to give our heartfelt condolences for the loss of his brother last week at 80 years old. So we just want to, it's a sad thing, but this too shall pass.
It won't be long to me and you. There'll be no such thing as broken. And all the old will be made new. And the thought that makes me smile now, even as the tears fall down.
And just in case you didn't know his brother's name was Steve McMillan, and John, it was his actual twin brother. They say he sounded just like John. Anyway, our prayers go out to them, and may God's arms be used as the pillow to help you get through this, Mr. McMillan.
Oh, but now you're standing in the sun. You fought your fight and your race is run. The pain is all a million miles away. The only scars are heaven. It won't belong to me and you.
Yes, 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 yes. Anyway, good morning to all of you. I had to get that out because it's difficult to lose somebody, and I would imagine that if you are a twin, it's certainly difficult. The numbers are 860-1440. Before I get into anything serious this morning, besides that was serious, but you guys, whatever else is on your mind, we got a lot of things to talk about there. I'm finding out they say there's this guy named Ogaby or whatever the hell his name is that's leading KIV. How's that possible? We never heard of the guy. But anyway, we never heard of him at all. Let me see who this is right quick before I get on to my tirade. Good morning. Who's this? Now, if you and I are gonna have a conversation for a second, and then after this, we're gonna never have this conversation again. Now, Mr. Ed, I like you most of the time, but you cannot continue to call back, act like a fool sometimes when you do it. And I ain't talking about that other than you know exactly what I'm talking about. So, if you're gonna be a good Christian, then be one. Okay, I'm just saying, you call back. Okay. Call back your first time. Call your first time. Give us what you got to say. I don't have to agree with everything you say, but you can't act like a child. Okay? I don't care nothing about the other people. I don't tolerate them either. If I know who it is, nobody can hear you but me. Nobody can hear you right now. So let me finish what I got to say. I'm trying to be nice to you. You never know where you find yourself in life. But if you're going to call God's name all the time, then act godly. Okay, do all things in order. Okay, and the order is you call and then you get what you got to say, and that's it. The only time you can call back if I happen to let you call in the first hour, then okay. Or if I got a guess, that's fine. Now, do we understand one another? Okay. Well, I think you're old enough to understand what I just said. So okay. Now, what's on your mind? It didn't have a title because they didn't put it up. Yeah, but it's not up on my computer. Okay, well, I couldn't get it on my computer, so I don't know what the title of it was. So, Okay. I don't care about color. I really don't care about color. I don't. I don't give a crap about it. Now, if you guys in the South been stuck on this color thing forever, I know, but that's on y'all. Don't put it on me. I don't care about people's color. I don't. Because you act differently. It's got nothing to do with your color, Mr. Ed. I go by what people believe in their philosophy. I don't care about your color. Ed, your reach is not that far. Nobody hates you for calling out God's name. Nobody. Okay. Again, I can tell you what I feel, and that from the deepest pits of my heart. I don't give a crap about your color. What I care about is your philosophy. What I care about is not what you say you are, but what you show you are. I just don't care about it. I got a lot of things in my mind. Believe me, Yes, yeah, I would stand before God and he would know that I don't care about color. Yes, yeah, he'd know that I don't care. Okay, well, maybe therein lies your problem, my friend. You spend so much time. I care about your philosophy, the stuff that you believe, and the way you show it. I really don't care about color. If I like people because of their belief and what they are. If I don't like you, believe me, I have never thought about people's color when I don't like somebody. I just never thought about it. It doesn't even, it's not even part of my lexicon. I just don't care. But I realize I'm in the South, and you guys feel that you've been misused and abused, and some of you have been. But what is an amazing thing to me about living in Montgomery, Alabama, is that the people who went through all that crap, who are still with us, are the people who bring it up the least. I got people who heard about it, never went through anything, who heard about it. They get angry at another race of people because they heard about something that happened. But the people who actually went through it, who went through the junk, they have reason. Most of them have gotten to a place where let God sort it out. Okay, because none of us who look in the mirror have been perfect. None of us. So I don't really care about color. And anybody don't believe, hey, call me up and text me. I don't care about the color. But I am a philosophical guy. And if your philosophy in life is crazy, to me, then we don't have a whole lot to talk about. We just don't. I ain't mad at you. We just can't have a long conversation because I just don't believe the things you believe. Okay. And Ed, maybe you just need to rethink your position. That's all. Anyway, good morning to you. 860-1440 is the number. You want to give us a call, love to talk to you, whatever on your mind. This morning, a few things we want to talk about. Who is it? They told me there's a guy who is, well, I can't think of his name now. I had his name a few minutes ago. Start with an O or something like that. I don't know what it is. But they say he actually is in charge of is leading KIV. I just can't believe that. I mean, I've never heard of him. How you gonna be leading him? But anyway, another thing too. You know what I found out last night, this weekend? Now I'm sitting there thinking that I'm in a certain district that I'm in, so I'm philosophically I'm good with my representation. See, because all these years I have been under. I was under Brubaker and somebody else. And who's the guy? Bear something. Anyway, I was under him. So this weekend, I got the little thing in the mail that tells me what senatorial district, what house district I'm in, and all that stuff. And lo and behold, do you know whose district I am in now? I mean, you talk about something crazy. Well, I am in Kirk Hatcher's district now. And I could not believe that. Oh, not that it's Kirk, but I'm not a Democrat. I've been pretty comfortable where I've been all these years, and now I'm in a Democrat's district. Now, so I don't know if they knew what they were doing when they did that to me. Okay, because I don't fly by the Democratic philosophy 98% of the time. So, but I'm glad they sent me a thing, so I can't call up barefoot and say, well, I guess I could call him. We're still friends. But I just cannot believe they did that to me. Okay? So they must, you know what they did? They must have looked at the street where I live, and they cut right across there, went around, ran around me, came back and got me. Come on, man. But Senator Hatcher, now I'm still in 74 House District, but I'm in Senator Hatcher's, so I'm in a Republican's House District, and I'm in a Democrat's senatorial district. How the hell is that possible? Somebody tell me. Does the word jerry-rig mean anything at all? Well, Senator Hatcher, I love you, brother. But I guess now I got to find you to pick on. Okay? Because, I don't agree with Democrats on 98% of things they agree on. So, okay, well, you got me, baby. Me and you are connected at the hip. Okay, so somebody's gonna have to explain some of the decisions that they have made. Okay, because I'm going there. Okay, see, most of the time I'm good with the Republicans, at least what they say they believe. Now sometimes they say things that that they don't really believe, but they make us think they believe them anyway. Democrats don't say nothing I believe most of the time, and they don't be trying to fake the funk. Okay, but I'm just saying, how in the world did I end up in a Democratic thing, and I've been Republican the Republican district all these years, and I ain't too crazy about the Republicans either, those Republicans, but I do like their philosophy. So I don't understand how they do that to me. Huh? Somebody trying to get a brother. Okay? Somebody trying to get me. So they know I can't be voting. I can't vote in a Democratic thing. I can't do that. I mean, I don't dislike all Democrats though, because I did vote for one. But how did you put me in that district? Come on, what's up with that? Anyway, and I called Hatcher all weekend, still didn't get a call back. See, that's the reason why I didn't. See, that's the reason why I did. I called him and texted him and all kinds of things so he can welcome me in, and he still ain't returned the call. Okay, I'm just saying now. I'm just saying, how in the world can you represent me if you don't ever call me back? Okay, I'm just saying. I've been called 4 times, and they ain't got a brother yet to call me back. I guess they're not in session, so when they're not in session, I guess they don't really have to call you back. That's what somebody was complaining about last week. They're not in session, so hey, forget you. Okay. Oh, somebody said his name is Barfoot, not Barefoot. No, now Barefoot is the cleaning by Maurice Rollins. He's got a company called Barefoot. They clean carpets and furniture and stuff like that. I just thought I'd let you know. So it's Barfoot. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I hope that wasn't him. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope everything is all right for you. Now, here is something. Biden commutes the sentences of some Montgomery men convicted of drug distribution. Anybody know the guy who got 40 years, which I think was way too much time to get for selling marijuana? I guess he got a couple of truckloads coming in. What was his name? I thought they were going to pardon him. I mean, why do we believe that giving people years upon years upon years for a drug offense, you get more money for a drug offense? Now, I don't get into drugs, never have taken drugs, never have done any of that stuff. Only time I smell marijuana when the car next to me is blowing it out the window. Other than that, I don't know anything about it. I don't even drink tobacco. Nothing. So, but why do we believe that people who sell marijuana is more dangerous than people who kill people? I don't know why is there such this, but we sell alcohol as if it's good for you. We sell alcohol as if it's good for you and it's worse for you than marijuana. But we got this thing about marijuana. We want to give people years and years. What was that young man's name? I know Carmichael. What's his name? Carmichael was his name. I thought he was going to be on the list. I really did. How much? Seriously? How much time do we give people smelling? I mean, first of all, it's an herb. I mean, come on. I don't understand that. But anyway, President Joe Biden last Tuesday commuted the sentence of Montgomery man convicted in 2018 on federal drug distribution charges. Sergio Acosta was arrested during a traffic stop in Madison County in central Kentucky on September the 6th, 2017. Now, according to the Department of Justice release, Acosta, a passenger in the vehicle, said there was a kilo of methamphetamine in the truck. Now, I would be more concerned about methamphetamine than I am marijuana. Acosta and a companion pleaded guilty to a charge of conspiracy to distribute methamphetamine on November 2017. Acosta was sentenced to 97 months, 8 years and 1 month. But we gave Mr. Carmichael all kinds of years for marijuana. And trust me, if I had to live in a street where everybody smoked marijuana, then 2 people on methamphetamine. Okay, I'm seriously. I'd rather live. I don't care about they opened up the front door and smoke came out all the houses on my street. I'd rather deal with that than somebody who takes methamphetamine. Okay, and I can't figure out why we keep giving these people hundreds of years for marijuana. I just, why? And then some places in America, you can smoke the stuff walking down the street. So I'm just I'm confused. 'Cause I guess marijuana is palatable for the other side of town, and they and methamphetamine. I guess I don't. Well, I think wait a minute. I think I know why. Anyway, 860-4 726. You know what? Let me take this call before I go on something else. Good morning. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
They knew they were killing people, but same thing with cigarettes. The government subsidized farmers to grow the cigarettes and give people cancer. And it's just like with alcohol and guns. You don't want to take away the cars. You don't want to do away with cars because people get drunk and killed.
Ain't that the truth?
You don't want to take away the guns because people kill each other with guns. It doesn't make any sense at all.
You remember the Carmichael case?
Oh yeah, I was there when it was going down.
I mean, did we not give him too many years for that? I think he got 30 years or something. I mean, that's crazy to me. When you can smoke it.
Yeah. I mean, but compared to what they give them in China.
Well, I understand.
Sitting on the sidewalk over there.
Yeah, I understand. But thank God, at least for the time being, we're not China or Russia. However, with this new department that's coming into the government, the truth-telling department, where we're going to have an agency under Homeland Security now that is going to try to ferret out misinformation. And I guess if they determine that you put out misinformation, I guess you can go to jail in the United States of America.
That's what I was going to say. You better be careful what you say on the airwaves now because the soldiers are going to be out there and the Black Hawk helicopters are going to be circling the studio.
Well, I guess
you putting out misinformation.
Well, then so be it. I'm giving you my opinion. And now, when they take, I got to tell you, this we are like the Roman Empire. We are a country that is going to go down not because of some outside enemy, but because of the Democratic Party of America.
Did you think you'd ever live long enough?
Never.
Would be involved in trying to determine what you could say, when you could say it, and who you could say it about.
I mean, if they got some places, if you mispronounce the pronoun of an idiot who thinks he's a woman, they're gonna make you lose your job, damage your life. Well, I will never call a man a woman. Never.
This weekend that the politicians are upset because the big oil companies are gouging the poor citizens. But the politicians don't mind gouging us when they pass more taxes. They want to raise a tax that keeps on going up today, tomorrow, and forever. But that's okay. But if the old private business does it, they're wrong.
Yeah, I gotta tell you, I'm a little bit confused by it all. I'm just a little bit confused. Oh well.
It's confusing, but maybe somebody will let somebody enlighten us that they feel that has the right information.
Now, wait a minute. One more thing. They got this guy whose name starts with an O that's supposed to be leading Kay Ivey. Have you heard of this? Have you heard of this guy? Let me see. What's his name? His name is let me see. Well, I can't. Well, never mind. I'll get it in a little bit because I got it right here. I don't have my bifocals on this morning, so when you get over. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, well, dude, okay, yeah, because they may do that. They may charge the brother, so let me make sure I get the name right. So so I don't tell nobody the wrong story here. But I don't know. I just don't know. Okay, so we'll be back right after this. It is 7:31 in the morning. We'll come back to your calls, your comments right after this message. So, yeah, I just don't know where we're going. 40 years, 30 years for marijuana, a year and a half for killing people. I just something's certainly wrong with that picture, but that's okay. We'll be back. Uno momento.
First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? Need Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
A summer-like day on the way, much like what we had this weekend, although rain and storm coverage will be lower today, around 30%, highs around 88 degrees, sun and clouds. It will be noticeably humid. And the rest of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday specifically, are very similar to today, even lower rain chances each day, around 20%, sun and clouds, humid, and temperatures in the upper 80s, feeling like the lower 90s. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now, visibility issues with fog in the low-lying areas is your only concern. No other accidents have been reported. We do have a problem, though, in Prattville on North Court Street. In front of the probate office, there's a large sinkhole in the middle of the road. They're thinking about shutting down the road in that area, so be advised. Otherwise, keep listening, and we will keep you posted. Good credit, slow credit.
There's a sinkhole somewhere?
18 at MCS in Wetumpka for a cash-out refinance or an equity loan. MCS 567-9000. NMLS 22876. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major.
Why are you driving around town on those old ball tires? Do you like living dangerously? Say no to old, bald, and dangerous. For all your tire needs, Chico's Auto Pros, 239-9510.
Hey, hear me at my new time right here on the same great station. It's all happening every afternoon at 2, right here on News Radio 1440.
This is Kathy Wolf from American Housing Wars. This is your special invitation to our 28th anniversary sale going on now. For a limited time, everything in American Oak & Moore's inventory catalog and special orders is 50% off the top tag price. That's right, half off. Living room, dining room, bedroom, home office, and outdoor. Interest-free financing available. Hurry, sale ends soon. Mattress, accessories, and cozy excluded.
I've been saying for almost 30 years. Good morning, Alabama. How'd you sleep last night?
You can buy a mattress anywhere, but at Wolf Boys Bedding, we want to make sure you get a good night's sleep. We will take the time to show you how a mattress is made and what supports you and gives you comfort. Then let you make the decision on what's best for you. Whether you need an inexpensive mattress or a great night's sleep, we have you covered. Shop the Better Sleep Sale and get up to $400 off on Heritage Sleep's homegrown collection.
Don't count sheep, get a great night's sleep. Wolf Boys Bedding next to American.
I tend to second guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EPI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and only with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.
Your local radio stations are here for you. No subscriptions or monthly fees.
If you
news, weather, and traffic you need, and the music you love. But if the foreign-owned record labels get their way, it could stop the music. They want Congress to force radio stations to pay them more money simply to play their music. Don't let
the world is better this way.
Local to 52886 and tell Congress to protect local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters. Tim James, Governor.
The culture war has come to Alabama. Parents, grandparents, are you watching? There's a war going on between common sense and crazy.
Tim James.
A Supreme Court nominee who can't even tell you what a woman is. The best woman swimmer is actually a man. And recently,
Well, there's some truth there.
transgender public school.
The best woman swimmer today is a man.
With millions of your tax dollars. It's called the Magic City Acceptance Academy. And recently, the faculty put on a drag show on campus for the children. It's heartbreaking. It's not education. It's exploitation. It's got to stop.
Tim James, governor.
What are we doing to our kids? Who let this happen?
We did.
I'm Tim James. That's enough. It's time to fight back.
Amen. James, governor, 2022.
Hey, Sean Hannity here, and now you can hear me live every afternoon. It all starts at 2, and it's all happening right here on News Radio 1440.
The world he left behind not so long ago.
Okay, we're back. We're here. You know, it's a good thing I'm on the air in Montgomery, because if I wasn't on the air, people would just be crazy. You know, they don't have one view, and what they need is my view. 860-1440 is the number you want to give us a call. Love talking what's over your mind. Yeah, this guy's name is what's this guy's name? Let me see now. What is this fella's name here? I got it in front of me, but I don't see his name. That's let's see. Everybody running for governor is Lindsey Blanchard, Lou Burdette, Stacey Lee George, Kay Ivey, Tim James, Donald Trent Jones, Dean Cole, David Thomas. So why are the rest of these people running? Anybody know why? I mean, do they really think that seriously? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 people running for governor on the Republican side. Okay, and I'm just saying, what? I mean, what makes them think that they got out here? Now, I've heard, I've tried to reach out to Lindsey Blanchard, but they don't call a brother back. Lou Burdette, I left a message for him. They don't call me back. Kay Ivey people, they never call you back. So, you know, I mean, if you ain't, they probably got somebody over there that's the vanguard, is the blocker, and so they don't want to come down. I mean, we're right down the street from the White House down there, and you think they could get in the car and walk down here and come talk to the people of Montgomery, but no. They pretty much then wrote you guys off. I'm just pretty much. Tim James comes up here. I think I'm voting for Tim James. Really, common sense is what I'm looking for. Just common sense. Just no. Again, think about this for a second. When the best, with at least categorized as the best woman swimmer happens to be a man, we are all screwed up in America. Okay, it's a man. But they actually going to call him the #1 woman swimmer. What idiots are in charge of in this country? Anyway, good morning. Good morning, Ed. I'm doing fine. And you? Yeah.
Yesterday, and because you are a proud board member on the Parks and Recreation.
Right.
I will forward this to you, but man, what I have seen visually is very disturbing. And it's in regard to Betty Watson Park off of Taylor Road there. I'm sure you're familiar with Betty Watson.
Yeah. I tell you, yeah. Well, although that's out of my. Well, no, I think that is my district. Right.
But I'm just telling you, and this is what disturbs me.
Right.
And everybody's going to think, oh, you're just complaining, but no, the condition of this park is literally, and I don't use the term lightly, dude, it's disgusting. The filth, there is obviously no upkeep, and when you see these pictures that he just took yesterday.
Okay, yeah, get them to me, and I'll get them to the director, and I'll get these to the director for sure.
Well, you need to be raising holy hell about the condition, because if this is one part, they're probably all in this condition. It just shows that this administration does not care about maintaining existing services.
Well, but right. But let me be. Let's. I'm not an excuse maker, but I will tell you, the Park and Recreation Department is one of the departments that needs manpower, and people just don't seem to be putting in for jobs.
Yeah, well,
I mean, it is what it is.
I'll agree with you to the labor market, but city
Right.
When you see the photographic evidence, and I'm just telling you, they
Okay.
talk about trying to be fiscally responsible, but when you let it run down and then it gets to a point where it costs a fortune to repair things, come on, it's common sense. But I'm gonna forward this to you and to Councilman Grimes and Jim Wright, and I just
Okay. Now we just got last couple of weeks. They just made the interim director, the acting director now is the director of Park and Recreation now, and so get them to me. I'll get them to him, and we'll see what can be done. But
yeah, you're gonna be disturbed when you see what you see. But yeah, please bring it to their attention.
all right, we'll do it.
All right, brother.
All right.
Good to you.
Appreciate it. I mean, that's my job, bring it to their attention. That's what my job is. Good morning. What? Oh, how you doing, Kay?
I'm doing pretty good over there with my girlfriend. I'll just think about calling the show.
Okay. Well, listen, now that's a little bit too much information right there. What you do is what you do. You do you, I'll do me, and we'll just leave that other stuff alone. Good morning. Yes. Turn the radio down there. Now, go ahead. I got you. Yes, sir. Good morning.
Hey, did you have an opportunity to start Netflix for 60 minutes last night?
No, I did not.
There was an interesting segment they had on about this young group that's going around, and they have this thing called Birds on Reels. Have you heard of that movement?
No, it got a lot of movement. That's what I missed.
Birds on Reels.
Birds are not real.
Birds on Reels. He said the government has killed off all the birds, and they've replaced them with drones. And these drones are looking over the country. And when you see birds sitting on these power lines, they're actually drones being recharged.
Okay.
That sounds crazy, right?
It sounds crazy, but I, we live in a crazy world, so I don't. Anything is possible, but I think I can tell the bird between a bird and a drone.
So there's a lot of people following the movement. Birds aren't real, and you can Google it, and your audience can Google it. And what it is, it's actually satire to prove that people can come up with the craziest things, and there will be people that actually believe it and follow it based off this premise of free speech.
But they have a right, but they have a right to their opinion. I mean, that's,
You have a right to your opinion, but there should be some guardrails and for speech.
But now let's get this right. The First Amendment was not for the speech that everybody agreed with. It was for the speech that people didn't agree with.
Well, the First Amendment was the government could not control your speech.
Right.
The government, just like freedom of religion, the government couldn't, dictate that everybody has to be Catholic or Baptist or whatever. So we have freedom of religion, but it means the government can't control. So the government can't limit or control our speech is what that is.
Right, but that's what they're trying to do with this new department.
Well, I don't think they're done. I think we do have, in the insurance industry, I have securities license and investment. I have a fiduciary responsibility to not swindle you out of your money.
Well, that's true. That's true. But you do have a license. But you do have a license, which means that you entered into that agreement voluntarily.
So my citizenship doesn't give me a license to be able to. This guy, again, Birds Aren't Real, came up with this thing to see how many people actually follow this, and really it's a satire that I think we have to be, as a country, concerned that what you said, nothing is true and everything is possible. Well, you didn't say nothing is true. You said everything is possible. But there's a movement, Kevin, that says nothing is true. And you will probably be sensitive to certain issues, and I heard you talk earlier, you would never call a person that wants to be non-binary other than what their gender is.
Right.
But they have free speech and a free right to do that.
Oh no, they got a free right. They have a right to think what they want to think. But I have a right to think what I want to think too.
But you limit that because what you're saying is and they were John, but Monday want to be called James. If you don't call them James, there are consequences for you not calling them James, even though they're John, right?
Exactly, and that's the time you need to lose your job and walk away.
But that person has freedom. That's why I'm saying it should be guardrails on it, that you shouldn't be punished or penalized for your right to, but there should be guardrails on it. And that's what I think the concern is in this country, that everything is, nothing is true and everything is false.
Mm.
And the fact of the matter is, some things are true.
Well, that's true, and some things are possible. So,
But we can't adopt this mantra that nothing is true.
well, there's one that absolutely is not true. There's never been and never will be a male that turns himself into a female.
That's not true.
There never will be one.
But it is possible through medical science.
No, it isn't. It's not even possible through medical science. You cannot turn yourself into a female.
I understand. But if you watch this movement, birds aren't real.
Right.
Research together.
Right.
Young guy from Arkansas dropped out of college to follow this whole thing going around, and he can convince people on the street that you didn't know whole wires because so what I'm telling you is that if people can get you enough information, you can be convinced against something you've got better sense in.
Yeah. Like a man turned himself into a woman. I never will be convinced. That ain't gonna happen. No, I won't be convinced. Me too. But again, the freedom of speech clause in our Constitution is not to protect the speech that everybody agrees with. It is to protect the speech that people don't. Well, I guess that's why we got this apparatus called public school. If you cannot discern with logic and reason, then maybe you just haven't got enough education. Well, that's only because it puts other people in danger. Well, yeah, true. Well, sometimes it is. Yeah, sometimes it is. Yeah. And sometimes, and the consequences of a guy telling me that he is a girl, I don't think he's crazy. But that's okay. Now, he got a right to think that. But just because you put a biscuit in the oven, don't make it a cat. Or let's get you don't put a cat in the oven, don't make him a biscuit. Anyway, we'll take a break, and we'll be back right after this.
And catch all the hair. They don't have so very long before their judgment day. So won't you make them happy before they pass away?
Weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Audible. This spring, let Audible bring a smile with comedy, sci-fi, thrillers, or whatever you love listening to. From audiobooks to exclusive originals to podcasts. Find it all on Audible. Sign up and start free at audible.com.
A summer-like day on the way, much like what we had this weekend, although rain and storm coverage will be lower today, around 30%, highs around 88 degrees, sun and clouds. It will be noticeably humid. And the rest of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday specifically, are very similar to today, even lower rain chances each day, around 20%, sun and clouds, humid, and temperatures in the upper 80s, feeling like the lower 90s.
That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. So far, so good. No major problems or accidents have been reported that would send you on an alternate route. We do have a couple of accidents or two issues in Prattville, one on Honeysuckle Drive in front of the intermediate school, and another one, they've closed Court Street in front of the probate office between 4th and 5th Street due to a sinkhole. And we've got fog, so watch out for fog in the low-lying areas. Keep listening, we'll keep you posted. Invisible Fence has the Boundary Plus system, giving your pet security, but giving them more room to enjoy life. Call Vicki at Invisible Fence, 265-2585. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
Selecting the best choice for tires can be confusing with all the brands and options available. Trust the #1 rated tire pros in Montgomery at Chico's Auto Pros for your tire needs.
Hey folks, this is Major Delay. Not too long ago, I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Now, few things are as important as the health of my feet. First order of business, have your feet checked by a podiatrist. Without hesitation, I told my doctor, I'm going to Dr. Brian Kelly with Greenville Foot Care. I went to his clinic on Winton Blunt behind Baptist East. The staff was friendly and professional. I was in and out in less than 30 minutes. And in that short span of time, with a few simple observations, Dr. Kelly shed light on two major issues I had had with my feet and ankles all my life. I was amazed. Not only was the checkup quick and easy, I felt comfortable and informed. He even recommended certain running shoes that better fit the structure of my feet. And your insurance even pays for annual visits to a podiatrist to better your health. No referral necessary for most insurance. Hey, walk, crawl, limp, roll, any way you can get there, but see Dr. Brian Kelly at Greenville Foot Care. Call for an appointment 334-265-7585 or check out greenvillefootcare.com.
No representation is made as to the quality of pediatric services to be performed or as to the expertise of podiatrists performing such services.
Attention River Region. Don't wait on one of those internet companies to hopefully call you back. You'll be disappointed even if they do. Just Blinds is here to make sure your home has the look and feel of the best American-made window
I gotta find this.
motorization and smart home options.
I cannot find him
as
in
much
the
as you
text.
do. For over 35 years, Just Blinds has been the trusted local source for quality, beauty, and customer satisfaction, serving Lake Martin, Auburn, and the River Region.
What if you got an instant message warning you you're about to be in a car accident?
As soon as you back out of your driveway, your neighbor's teenage daughter will clip your bumper as she speeds by. Wait, what?
If life came with warnings, you wouldn't need Nelson Law. We are dedicated to life, liberty, justice, and safety for all. Nelson Law, 399-4988. No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
This is State Health Officer Dr. Scott Harris, encouraging you to take the Purple Pledge and support the 47 million people worldwide who are living with Alzheimer's disease and other dementias.
The number of Americans living with Alzheimer's is growing at an alarming rate. 10% of people over the age of 65 have the disease, and 2/3 of them are women.
Whoa.
New research is making it possible to detect Alzheimer's disease and providing an accurate diagnosis earlier than ever before. This message brought to you by the Alabama Department of Public Health and this station.
My muscles ached. I was tired all the time.
My son had a full-blown asthma attack. It came out of nowhere.
The unsettling thing about some symptoms is
I had a fever and these terrible headaches.
you don't always know what's causing them.
It was Lyme disease from a tick bite.
I had Zika virus from a mosquito.
He had a reaction to cockroach allergens.
Threats to your health can come from unexpected places. Get the facts. Visit pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
This is the Sean Hannity Show. Join me every afternoon at 2, right here on News Radio 1440.
Okay, so I found Mr. Odo's website here, but I don't Facebook page, but I know, but he's not on the ballot, is he? I'm looking at the ballot now, and I don't see his name on the ballot. I mean, so is he on the ballot or is he not on the ballot? I don't see the brother's name no place. Okay then. Well, let me look at that one more again to see it, because I do not see his name. Okay, but you know, not the first time I haven't seen somebody's name. I guess. Let me look at this thing. Okay, I got to make sure he's okay. Who's on the Republican side here? We got Lacey Blanchard. We got Burkett. We got some guy named Stacy somebody. I do not. Oh, there he is right there. There. Okay, there. Okay. So he is on the ballot, way down the bottom. And they say he's leading Kay Ivey. Okay, I just want to know who took the poll. Yeah, I just want to know who took the, because one thing I learned about polls in this whole political apparatus is that the results determine how you forge the question, how you ask the question. Like they may have said, if there were but 3 people in this race and you, Kay Ivey, and somebody else, who'd win, then they vote for this guy. But now, what was the sampling measurement? How many people were asked? And things of that nature. I'm just saying, I don't see, I never heard of the guy till now. So how in the world is he, and I normally keep abreast of that kind of thing. So I'm just wondering how in the world is he leading Kay Ivey? Again, it just depends on who's taking the poll, I guess. Who's taking the poll, I guess? Okay, I don't want to get into, there is another issue that we want to talk about next hour, and it's about a guy named Drayton Neighbors, who used to be for 2 years, the chief Supreme Court judge, whatever you call him, Supreme Court justice. And there was a case that came up. And did you hear the one? Well, I'll get to that, and I got so many things to talk about today. I just don't have enough time. Okay, just don't have enough time to get to all of it. But there's a guy named Toforus Johnson, and he is on Alabama's death row. And Drayton Neighbors, who is the former chief Supreme Court justice, asked the question, why is Toforus Johnson still on Alabama death row? Now, I got to tell you, when a Supreme Court justice, a former Supreme Court justice, asked that question, I think that question needs some investigation. And why is it, especially when we find that one of the people who charged him, or who was a witness against him, was given $5,000 for her testimony. So, you know, I got to tell you, yeah, we didn't talk about this, but because and Drayton Neighbors is interested in this, but think about how many people who've gone that way and nobody's been interested in it. But when you have a former Supreme Court justice, chief justice, asking this question, then one must ask themselves, then what's going on here? You know, and I think that our Attorney General and some of the people who run this state ought to be asking the same question. When you have someone of that high notoriety asking this question, then what's the problem? Why is he on death row? You know, so if the order comes down tonight that put him to death, is that what we're going to do? Anyway, we'll talk about that and other things later on. Okay. Anyway, we'll be back, but we'll talk about this when we come back. Why is Toforus Johnson still on Alabama's death row?
USFA 12 News Update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams of WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Monday. The manhunt is expanding for an escaped Alabama inmate accused of murder and the corrections officer who went missing with him. The pair, Kelsey White and Vicky White, who are not related, walked out of the jail west of Huntsville Friday morning. The Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office is expected to hold a press conference on this today at 10:30 a.m. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency is investigating the death of a man who went overboard on Lake Martin Saturday afternoon. Investigators say the victim is from Pell City and was traveling east on Elijah Bay when he went overboard. President Joe Biden will be touring Lockheed Martin in Troy tomorrow. That's a facility that makes weapons systems, including anti-tank missiles. The U.S. is currently sending those missiles overseas to help Ukraine fight against Russia. This will mark the president's first trip to Alabama since being elected. I'm Jasmine Williams of WSFA, and these are your morning headlines.
News Radio 1440, WLWI AM, the home of Sean Hannity. Also on 95.1 HD3 FM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. More than 100 Ukrainian civilians finally allowed to leave a steel plant in Mariupol, where they've been sheltering for 2 months, are telling their stories as they head to safety in Ukrainian-held Zaporizhia. This woman told an interpreter,
The shelling was so strong, it kept hitting near us. We could only breathe at the exit of the bomb shelter, because there was just not enough oxygen. I was afraid even to walk out and breathe the fresh air.
Additional civilians expected to be released today. House Speaker Pelosi's met with Poland's president in Warsaw after she made a surprise stop in Kyiv over the weekend. Still no sign of a suspected killer who escaped from prison in Alabama. Officials believe he may have had help from the assistant director of corrections in Lauderdale County. The missing inmate had confessed to killing Austin Williams' mother.
Somebody really needs to find out how this happened. Someone really needs to look into that and make sure that it can't happen again, because we really would like to see him go to trial.
A prison official who's missing had handed in her retirement papers the day before. Ferocious winds have sent what was a small wildfire racing towards homes on the outskirts of Flagstaff, Arizona. And evacuation centers in San Miguel and Mora counties in New Mexico are overwhelmed after at least 166 homes burned there. Volunteer Gino Martinez.
We are in desperate and dire need of emergency management crisis team just to help us, one, calm the tone and help the community make sense of this.
Some spirits are blue in the airline business this morning. Spirit has rejected a $3.6 billion cash takeover bid from JetBlue. Spirit says the deal probably wouldn't work, so it's sticking with a plan to merge with budget carrier Frontier. It's been a long time for loved ones in New Zealand.
Airport reunions in Auckland.
I'm just so pleased to finally be able to get down here. It was very hard. It was very good to be back. I'm sorry.
For the first time since March 2020, New Zealand is once again open to people from more than 60 countries, provided they're vaccinated and COVID negative. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
This would never happen on Olympic ice again under new rules being proposed by figure skating's governing body. Magical. 15-year-old Russian Kamila Valieva performing in Beijing after she was caught in a doping scandal and later bottomed out of the competition. Now the International Skating Union wants to raise athlete age limits to 17. S&P futures are down 12. Dow futures off 19. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
A woman breaks new ground in professional minor league baseball.
23-year-old Kelsey Whitmore played left field yesterday for the Staten Island Ferry Hawks. She's the first woman to start a game in the Atlantic League and the first in any game connected to Major League Baseball. She struck out, flied out, and was hit by a pitch. Whitmore is a two-way player, working with the team's pitching coach, but she has yet to pitch in a game. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
A hometown honor for a rap star. Megan Thee Stallion's been awarded the Key to the City of Houston for giving back to her community. It was awarded in honor of her late mother and grandmother's birthdays. 2 years ago, the singer released a special remix to raise money for COVID relief. She also has a nonprofit called the Pete and Thomas Foundation, named after her parents, to help underserved communities in Houston with housing and education. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Got questions about your roof? Ripper Region Contracting has the answer. Google Ripper Region Contracting today or visit their website, ripperregioncontracting.com.
Another Guardian Credit Union story.
Hey, are we trimming the same as usual?
Yeah.
How's your baby girl doing?
She's great, but with 3 kids, we really need more space.
You should check out Guardian Credit. We got a home equity line of credit from Guardian to finish our basement. They have low rates and a great team that's easy to work with.
Really?
Yeah, my mom got a Guardian home loan to buy her house. They refinance too.
Thanks. I'll check them out.
Connect with Guardian for all your lending needs.
I tend to second-guess dinners with friends because they're often interrupted by diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or oily stools. It turns out I have EPI, or exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, which means I'm missing the enzymes needed to digest food. My doctor prescribed Creon, pancrelipase, an oral prescription medication that replaces pancreatic digestive enzymes. Creon treats EI due to cystic fibrosis, chronic pancreatitis, pancreatectomy, or other conditions.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall. If you're allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and only with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon.
Creon is the #1 prescribed EPI treatment. Ask your doctor about Creon for EPI and visit Creon.com or call 800-633-9110 to learn more. That's CREON.com.
Sponsored by AbbVie. Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works over time with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget's available in a concentrate or extreme reach hose-in. Purchase Wet and Forget in store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart. Angie's List is now Angie, your home for everything home. With Angie, you could cross your next project off your to-do list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need, and we'll handle the rest. Sending a top pro to get it done. Or browse reviews, compare quotes from pros, and connect instantly, all for free. For everything from routine maintenance to a dream remodel. Because however you want your project done, we'll get it done. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
Hey, hear me at my new time right here on the same great station. It's all happening every afternoon at 2, right here on News Radio 1440.
Well, where have I been? I don't know who that is, but that ain't Teddy Pendergrass. Anyway, good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. I'm Kevin Elkins, and I want to tell you a little about this case. The guy is and the only reason why it got my attention is because when a Supreme Court justice, the head justice of the Supreme Court, presents the question, then you have to take a look at it. Okay. Now let me tell you the story here. As a former Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court, I believe, this is him, in our state's criminal justice system, where he's got a hell of a lot more belief than I do. It's not only that we have good laws and a strong framework for seeking justice, it's also that the people who lead our system serve with honor and professionalism. That is why I am troubled by this question. Why is DeForest Johnson still on death row? Mr. Johnson was convicted of murder and sentenced to death in 1998, 24 years ago, for the killing of Deputy Sheriff William G. Hardy in Birmingham. But over time, the state's case has fallen apart, and there's now substantial evidence that Mr. Johnson is innocent. Both the district attorney in Birmingham and the lead prosecutor for Mr. Johnson's 1998 case support a new trial. Yet, state continues to defend his conviction. Mr. Johnson remains on death row. And that stirs me. We trust the prosecutors to pursue criminal charges, to resolve cases, to present evidence, and to argue it to the jury. If we're going to do all of that, we should trust prosecutors when they say that we need to correct a mistake. And that's what both district attorney and lead trial prosecutor in the DeForest Johnson case is saying. To be clear, I support the death penalty in cases that warrant it. When I served as Chief Justice, I voted with my colleagues to uphold death sentences. By supporting the death penalty shouldn't mean ignoring signs that a person on death row may have been wrongfully convicted. In fact, it should mean the opposite. If you're going to use the power of the state to execute someone, we should do everything possible to make sure that that person has a fair trial and the evidence proves his guilt. So what is the evidence against Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson, there was all too little. There was no physical evidence, no eyewitness testimony, no police confession. The state's case relied entirely on a woman who said she overheard three-way jail phone calls in which a man who referred to himself as DeForest admitted to the crime. The woman had never met Mr. Johnson. She didn't know his voice, but her testimony was enough for the jury to convict. It turns out that the woman was paid $5,000 for her testimony after the trial, which was never disclosed to Mr. Johnson or his lawyers. As for Mr. Johnson's actual whereabouts at the time of Deputy Harris was killed, multiple witnesses have told the district attorney in Birmingham, Danny Carr, that Mr. Johnson was across town and could not have committed the murder. D.A. Carr met with these witnesses and found them credible. So the question again is, why is this man on death row? Interesting case. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. Yeah, the guy that John Knight and everybody helped get out. Yeah, get out. And matter of fact, Montiel was one of the judges at that time, or appeals court, who decided to give it a shot.
I knew my first one was a friend on the family.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that was a crazy case right there now. But like I said, when they want to pick you up, when they want to get you or get somebody for that particular case, they're gonna find somebody to put it on now.
Well, they do, but I got to tell you, when you have a Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of Alabama saying, "Why is this guy still on death row?" then I think that the governor or somebody ought to look at this. I mean, what they're gonna do? They paid a woman $5,000 for her testimony after the trial. Okay, and yeah, I mean, it right. Well, I mean, no, that ain't me. No, that ain't me. No, that's not me. That's somebody else. No, can't do it. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Is she still okay, she's still there. Can she sing? I haven't heard her. Okay.
Yeah, but they tried to get off, but they saved her. They saved her the last week, I think.
Okay.
But she's a great singer, man. She got a hell of a story too.
Okay.
If you pull it up and read it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
But anyhow, everything good, bro?
Everything good. Can't complain. We're just talking about DeForest here. Why is the guy on death row? Well, his name is old. No, he ain't new. He just, I found his name on the ballot here, though. And so, what is his name again? I don't know. This is the guy they said believed in helicopters or believed in UFOs or something like that. I'm not sure. What is? Yeah, I don't know, but I could be wrong. No, I can't even read the name now. It's so small on this thing. But yeah. Anyway, he's on it. But yeah, that's who he is. They said he's leading KI. I just don't believe that. Yeah. Tim James, last time I checked, Tim James was up there with K in third place.
Who was this lady that ran with this convict?
Yeah, she wasn't related to him. Even though they got the same name, she wasn't related to him, even though they had the same name. Well, evidently he took her hostage. I mean, I don't think she voluntarily went with him. Yeah. 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 All right. Appreciate it. Anyway, Johnson, as a matter of fact, witnesses have told the district attorney in Birmingham, Danny Carr, that Mr. Johnson was across town and could not have committed the murder. DA Carr met with the witnesses and he found them credible. Now listen, really? Okay, now found them credible. But there are other red flags in the case as well. In various court proceedings, the police and prosecutors have cycled through an alternative theories as to who shot Deputy Hardy. Even after Mr. Johnson was convicted and sentenced to death on the theory that he shot Deputy Hardy, the state asserted a completely different theory in a separate case. I commend the district attorney and the lead trial prosecutor for supporting a new trial instead of defending a flawed conviction. This type of prosecutorial support for a person on death row is now in this is unprecedented to my knowledge. But I still think it speaks volumes about the uniqueness of the case and the evidence. Earlier this year, I joined former Alabama judges in a brief urging Jefferson County Circuit Court to grant a new trial for Mr. Johnson. Another brief in support of Mr. Johnson filed by former Alabama prosecutor Bill Baxby, who was instrumental in bringing the death penalty back to Alabama when he served as Attorney General in the 1970s. As Mr. Baxley had written, Johnson's murder trial is so deeply flawed, the evidence presented against him so thin that no Alabamian should tolerate this incarceration, let alone execution. I agree. I continue to have confidence in our system, so I'm hopeful and optimistic that Mr. Johnson will be given a new trial soon. Then no longer will we ask in a case in which the evidence is so problematic that even the district attorney and trial prosecutors support a new trial. So why, after 24 years, is DeForest Johnson still on death row? Drake Neighbors, who served as Chief Justice of Alabama from 2004 to 2006. And I think that is the question that the governor, somebody's going to have to answer. Answer this. Again, when you have the former Supreme Court justice and the prosecutor in Birmingham and all these people, and the fact of the matter is, if a witness never saw the guy, said she heard something, but she didn't know the guy's voice one way or the other, and she got $5,000 for her testimony after the trial, this is problematic. And I'm not a judge, I'm not a jury, I don't know anything about law except that it is, that symbol that they use for law, that I forgot exactly. That ain't Medusa. No, that's medical stuff. Whatever that symbol is that they use for law, and they got the blind, the blind thingamajigger on her face, whatever. I think sometimes they ought to take that handkerchief off her face and let her look. Okay, don't do it blindly. Okay, I'm just saying, we might want to think. So the question is, why is DeForest Johnson on death row? Okay, I'm just saying, I think that's a question that everybody's got to ask. And I hate to go there. I really do. I hate to go there. But sometimes one must ask the question. One must ask the question. If Mr. DeForest Johnson was white, would he still be on death row with this type of evidence against him? And you got a white Chief Justice saying, hey, something's wrong here. So I'm calling on Governor Ivey to at least commute whatever sentence this man got to prison until we can figure out if he gets and get him off of death row. And if I've got to go down there and make my presence known down there at the White House, that's what I'm going to do. I just think this is crazy. The minute somebody gets $5,000 after a trial for their testimony, everything that person has said should be suspect. And when the prosecuting attorney and his lawyer and the Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court, the former Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court, says that this is problematic and we need a new trial, then I'm calling on Governor Kay Ivey to stop campaigning for a second, take a look at this, because you can always put somebody back in jail, but you can never, just like a guy who thinks he can turn himself into a woman, he can't do it. Well, you can never give people back their life once you have taken it. So I'm calling on the governor of the great state of Alabama, who lives down the street from here. You know what? You need to get with Mr. Drake neighbors, and y'all need to stop this forest right now. Okay? Now, do I have to go down? Do I have to go down there with a sign and stand in front of the place like like everybody else does every once in a while? Okay? I'm all for justice too, but that's exactly what we want. We want justice. See if I can find Mr. Drake neighbor. I've been trying to reach out to him, but I guess I got to go down to the Supreme Court building and I'll see if I can get a number for him. Okay, let me take one call and then I'll take a break and we'll get up. Good morning, who's this? Yes. Go right ahead. Right. Yeah. Same thing. It all started with the same thing. Right? The government controls the bank. Right. And I agree. Okay, they put him in the bank for money if that's what he was doing, but he don't deserve to get. But 40 years. Yeah, but 40 years. I mean, come on, that's insane. But just still too much. Still too much. Why are we gonna put a guy in jail that long? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's still too much time. Yeah. Yeah, I just found out the other day. Yeah, I saw that too. What? So that's where my brother been all these years. I've been looking for him. Yeah. I understand. But I've been looking for my brother a long time, for 30 years. So that's where he's been. Huh. Well, let me go over there. I got to get a plane ticket and go down there and see how you doing. Yeah. Yes, I am, till they fired me. They made him the permanent, yeah. So I'm gonna try to get him up here so you guys can have all your questions and answers. And No, I didn't know. I don't know much about it because I can play a little bit, you know. I mean, you know. Yeah, very little. Yeah. Yes. Well, the Biscuits is a private. Aren't they a business? Yeah, the Diamondbacks, the Tampa Bay Rays. Somebody. No, they're a farm club from of the. Well, they got owners, but I don't think City of Montgomery owns any part. Really? Let me go down and ask John Long. Sure of that. Really? All right. Gotta take a break. We'll be back.
And shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. And right now, save 45% off any order. Just use code radio at checkout. Blindster.com.
Good morning, Montgomery. Look at an accident in front of the municipal court building. That's an accident with injury, so avoid that area. Also in Prattville, Honeysuckle Drive in front of the intermediate school. And they're shutting down Court Street, North Court Street in Prattville in front of the probate office between 4th and 5th Street due to a sinkhole. From a simple patient transport to life and death situations, Haynes Ambulance is there for you both on the ground and in the air. Haynes Ambulance, ready at a moment's notice. Buckle up, it's the law for Montgomery Skywatch traffic. This is major delay.
Attention River Region listeners, take advantage of 4 new tires with no money down at Chico's Auto Pros, Montgomery's #1 rated tire store. Chico's Auto Pros.
Turn up your radio. Here's the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
Live free or die, America and the world on the brink. Well, this is the brink part I was warning about. We did, by the way, I signed some special copies if you want them for Mother's Day. Great gift for Mom. And I'll tell you why. The demand for them has gone through the roof because everything we wrote about and predicted could happen is happening. It's even happening faster than I could have ever imagined. Now we're going to have, they're so wigged out over this ministry of truth. You know, in this country, we're going to have literally a disinformation governance board. Are you kidding me? Proclamations that your children are the government's children? No, parents are not potted plants. Sorry.
Check out the Sean Hannity radio show later today, right here.
Are you a real estate investor looking to refinance one or more of your properties? Most lenders only work with cookie-cutter W-2 borrowers. At Cash Call Mortgage, we have loans designed specifically for investment properties. We qualify customers based on the cash flow from the investment property. Borrowers can get up to $2.5 million. That's right, $2.5 million. No tax returns or employment verification needed for our investment property loans, and absolutely no lender or broker fees. If you're a real estate investor looking to refinance a mortgage on one or more of your investment properties, give Cash Call Mortgage a try. To see if you qualify, visit cashcallmortgage.com or call now 800-940-0226.
Don, can you do
That's
this?
800-940-0226. 800-940-0226.
Cash Call Mortgage is a DBA of Impact Mortgage Corp. NMLS ID 128231. Not all applicants will qualify. Equal housing lender. Licensed by California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. Residential Mortgage Lending Act license number 4131083. Licensed in all states, including New York. Call 855-654-9910 for license insurance and restrictions.
Wait.
Visit cashcallmortgage.com.
I might be able to do a few push-ups, but I'm not going to be able to do them.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll
hands just hurt too much.
Well, we'll help you.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Keep that in mind when you if you ever fall out, I'll know where
I need one of those emergency alerts.
Yeah, okay.
And you know what's sad is I've just let myself go like the last 5 years or so.
Well, ain't too late. You're still young. You can work.
Yeah, I'm trying to get. I mean, I used to be 30 pounds
lighter than I am now.
Go check your teeth.
Finding great
Huh?
Go check your teeth.
You probably should.
You may have some. I'm going over there too.
Where? What's the number? What's the website?
Technology actively finds and
Well, that's the number they give you to it. I don't know. They don't have it.
So while other companies might deliver
They
a
have
lot
it on
today, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5
That's okay.
employers
Go check
who
it
post a
out.
job on ZipRecruiter
Call
get a
and say,
quality
man, I
candidate within
heard
the first day. Try
Kevin
ZipRecruiter
Elkins
for
talking
free
about
at
that.
Right.
ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter/trial.
That's my wife. Yeah.
2022 is no
Otherwise,
time
I'll
to
forget it,
keep
and you'll be gone.
to be all covered up with the same blinds and shades you see in every home. In 2022 is definitely no time for cheap blinds and shades to leave the window saying, please don't cover me up with these ugly coverings. This is Ben with Just Blinds in Prattville. Seriously, our goal is to help deliver a custom look for your home to be loved and timeless for years to come. Visit Just Blinds showroom in Prattville today or online at GoJustBlinds.com.
Tim James, Governor. The culture war has come to Alabama.
Thank you, Tim.
Grandparents, are you watching? There's a war going on between common sense and crazy.
Tim James.
A Supreme Court nominee who can't even tell you what a woman is. The best woman swimmer is actually a man. And recently, the first transgender public school in the South, chartered in Alabama with millions of your tax dollars. It's called the Magic City Acceptance Academy. And recently, the faculty put on a drag show on campus for the children. It's heartbreaking. It's not education. It's exploitation. It's got to stop.
Tim James, Governor.
What are we doing to our kids? Who let this happen? I'm Tim James. That's enough. It's time to fight back.
Paid for by Tim James, Governor, 2022.
It's a fact. Guys hate going to the doctor. But when it comes to erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues, men from all over Montgomery have been thrilled seeing Dr. Alderson and the providers at Montgomery Men's Health. Men all the way up to 95 years old have jump-started their sex drive and energy levels. Lots of men suffer with ED for years, but now they're able to enjoy sex again. Tom from Montgomery said, Montgomery Men's Health has changed my life. I have been able to be intimate with my wife for the first time in 5 years. She thought this problem was because of her, but the pills never worked for me. I had given up until I went to the clinic and realized there were more options for erectile dysfunction. Now I'm happy and my wife is happy. A visit for only $99. All testing, including a PSA and testosterone test. Give the guys at the clinic a call at 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
He is the voice of the conservative millennial. The Ben Shapiro Show, Monday night at 8 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
Okay, I don't believe somebody just wrote me this text and tells me that justice is blind, equal, and balanced. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, it sure is. Oh, Lady K got eliminated last night? Huh. Well, being okay with, somebody said being okay with marijuana isn't very Republican-like. Listen, I'd rather people smoke marijuana sometimes to get drunk. Nobody's ever robbed anybody high on marijuana. Not that I know of. They never walked into a store. I don't think anybody's ever killed anybody high on marijuana. So no, I'm good with marijuana. I mean, except for the guy who comes down, Atlanta Highway with smoke coming out all windows of his car. Maybe that may be a little bit too smoking marijuana. Let me go to the phone, see who's there. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. They did. Matter of fact, I just checked with Rick Hendricks. The city owns the stadium, but they don't own the biscuits. Yeah. Yeah. I knew that too, but yeah. Right. They're the. Yeah, he was wrong about that one. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's true. Hey, appreciate it. That's right. The biscuits, the city of Montgomery owns the stadium and they rent the stadium, but they don't own the biscuits. Okay, I didn't think we got into the baseball business. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning. Good morning. Yes, Dr. Shrink. How the kids doing? Tell them I said hi. Right.
Hey, David, the issue that we have that our Caucasian brothers they don't want to recognize the fact that that black lives are not as important in every issue, even when it comes to legal matters. African color, they get more more time. So wrong is wrong, but we have to be realistic about who are the actual people that are bringing in brothers to the community and things of that nature. Kids at age 47 and things like that, they don't have to use the resources to ship that stuff from out of other states and other countries.
Right, but that's to me though, right? But let me tell you, that's an excuse that has no merit. Just because somebody brings poison to you, don't mean you got to take it. So that's not a good excuse why you take it, because when we didn't bring it over, somebody else did. Okay, I mean they bring strychnine to it. Right. Right.
It's wrong is wrong. That's all.
Right.
And until America, America can be very cool and ugly in some of the past history things that have happened, and they don't want to acknowledge that. Just it's like, okay, we opened the cage, we let the animal out of the cage. And it's like, well, we want the animal to behave. We created these circumstances in this environment with the unfair and injustice education and going on.
Right. But again, now, right. But listen. There are more whites in America who get screwed glued by the system than black folk. I'm not making an excuse for blacks or white, but we're not the only people who've been screwed, glued, and tattooed. We just seem to be the only one that can't figure out. And when we look in the mirror, we're ultimately responsible for where we end up.
I can agree with you on some things, but some things, I think that our counterparts have to take full responsibility for what they've done and what they've faced, and adjust to the things like with the issue with Governor Ivey, making a decision about the young man who's on death row. I mean,
right.
We all know the answer to that question. If he was.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But when the former Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court asked the question in an op-ed in the newspaper, then I think that deserves, and then some attention from the governor, as well as when a woman gets paid $5,000 after her testimony, after the trial is over. Yeah, and when the prosecutor says there's something amiss here and it's not right, my Lord, what other evidence do you need to at least take him off of death row? Yeah. No, OJ was guilty though. I don't care what y'all say. All right, appreciate it. Okay. 860-1440 is the number here. It is 8:39 in the morning. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, David.
Yes.
Who got you jumping up and down about this case?
Drake Neighbors does.
Okay. Let me ask you a few questions. You don't mind, do you?
Oh, go right ahead.
This guy said, like Dr. Joe makes a lot of mistakes. He's never been good.
Mm-hmm.
He's sort of in that box, too.
Okay.
Let's see where I want to start. You said so many things wrong.
Okay.
Should the state ever be able to offer a reward, the police officer, a reward for bringing somebody to justice?
Sure, but make sure the justice is right. Sure.
What do you mean justice is right?
Just because somebody tells you a story,
Somebody was given $5,000.
right, after the trial. Well, whatever. But the woman never heard the guy's voice, and when the district attorney says, right, She heard a phone conversation that she said somebody who said to Forrest. Okay, that I mean, hell, anybody come on. Probably could, but that's proof enough that somebody did something. That's right. But now let me ask you a question though. Wait. Let me ask you. Let me just ask you a question. And again, I probably would be. But let me ask you a question. Well, hold on, no. Wait. Let me ask you a question. Okay, let me ask you a question. Give me a break. Let me ask you a question. This is not coming from me. I'm not a legal expert. This is coming from the former Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court. Well, I don't know if they appealed it or not. I don't know. But again, he's bringing this up. Well, you got to have a new trial. You got to, again, this is not me. This is from a guy who's a jurist. Well, I don't know. I've never been convicted. Okay, and I would imagine that maybe he. Wait a minute. Do you realize that appeals have been wrong too? Well, I do. Again, I'm going by the Chief Justice. He was the Chief Justice of Alabama Supreme Court. He's concerned about this. Well, again, I just read what was in the newspaper. I read his article. Again, because this is Alabama. That's why. I read the whole article. Again, I'm not the person that brought this up. I think, well, again, why does the former Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court have concerns? Well, maybe he wasn't in receipt of all the information that he should have been in receipt of at the time. Well, again, and don't you wait a minute. Again, hey, I don't care what you were given, but at the end of the day, then let me ask you something. Why does Drake Neighbors take his time? Well, again, why does he take his time and point out all these cases when the prosecutor and the prosecutor and again, I'm gonna do my best. Yeah. Well, I am going to try to reach out to him. I'm not in his brain. I don't know if he's doing anything in the background or not. But again, I'm going to see if I can reach him because I don't know what his thought process is. I don't know why he thinks. But when the former Supreme Court justice says, "Why is this guy on death row?" and looking at the information that he has now, I think we all need to stand up because he's not a person and he believes. Okay. Well, maybe the legal stuff should work differently. Yeah. I'm with you, but I don't know if he's tried that or not. I don't know, but I'm gonna get him on, and we're gonna talk to him. I read his statement, his op-ed. Now, if he's lying, then that's on him, not me. I just read his stuff. These are not my words; these are his words. Good morning. Good morning. Well, he is innocent. Yeah, he is innocent. All right. Right, right. Well, again, like that little woman with that little scarf over her eyes that represents justice. Sometimes she sleep at the wheel. Yeah. No, again now there was a guy who just left named Elkins, from what I understand, who just got released. He was screwed too, and he was a white guy. So the justice system. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, yeah. All right. Appreciate it. I'm gonna see if I can find Drake Neighbor though, get him on the air, let him tell this story because obviously these are not my words. These are words of, again, if this is just Joe Blow lawyer trying to make a name for himself, then I may be skeptical. But when the former Chief Justice of the Alabama Supreme Court, guy who has no political axe to grind, asks these questions, when the prosecutor in Birmingham says, well, we think he deserves a new trial. Listen, I mean, I just don't. I don't. I mean, I agree. If all the information that he presented in his op-ed is true, then the government needs to step in. First of all, take him off death row. You're not letting him out of prison, but take him off death row, and then let's investigate. Okay, we'll be back.
Weather forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Blindster. Need new blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds, shades, and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. And right now, save 45% off any order. Just use code radio at checkout. Blindster.com.
Summer-like day on the way, much like what we have this weekend, although rain and storm coverage will be lower today, around 30%, highs around 88 degrees, sun and clouds. It will be noticeably humid. And the rest of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday specifically, are very similar to today, even lower rain chances each day, around 20%, sun and clouds, humid, and temperatures in the upper 80s, feeling like the lower 90s. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Wares Ferry Boulevard is Northeast Boulevard. We've got an accident reported there, so please use caution. And an accident with injury in front of the Montgomery Municipal Court building, so be careful for that. Watch out for that on Ripon. And Reinhardt Crackle, you get an additional $500 discount off any vehicle simply by asking for Hank. So ask for Hank at Reinhardt Crackle. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major
Call
Delay.
the tire experts at Chico's Auto Pros, where you'll get the price match guarantee and free extras like roadside assistance, local towing, and free balance and rotation. Chico's Auto Pros.
This is Mike Costanza with Chappie's Deli. And Jeff Marenko with Chappie's Deli. Mike, let's talk about our deli slaw.
My favorite. It's vinegar-based, light, healthy, crunchy.
It's the perfect side with any meat.
And perfect topping on any sandwich.
Pure deli. Try this combo. Corned beef on rye with Swiss cheese and slaw. Mmm, so good.
And put it on the Chappie's Deli grill. The flavors go zoom.
Gramps, what does that mean, flavor zoom? Sounds pretty old school. I like my slaw grilled al dente. Al dente.
What, say what now, Jeff?
You know, grilled but still crunchy. Al dente. No, Albert Dental.
What? Now, wait a minute, Jeff. You mean al dente.
Yes, that's it. Al dente.
And he was joking on what I said? Folks, zoom on in. Deli slaw. Al dente if you want. Perry Hill, Pepper Tree, Prentville, Baptist.
Barfoot, not Barefoot.
Run the U.S. next year.
Barefoot, Barfoot.
As they always have, or stand strong against Biden's socialist Marxist agenda. That's a question Alabama Republicans will answer on primary day. 80 Brits and establishment moderate.
who worked for Rich Shelby and cheered when Doug Jones beat Roy Moore. And Durant, a tough guy who's weak on guns, and a lot more. The only one conservatives can trust is Mo Brooks. Brooks is the hard-right conservative who stood up to Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, and even Donald Trump. So you know, Mo Brooks will always stand up to Joe Biden. Brash, bold, controversial, but always right. That's Mo Brooks. Mo Brooks for U.S. Senate, because it's time Alabama sends a message to Biden and the Democrats, and that message is Mo Brooks. The Rich Conservatives Factory for the Senate is responsible for its contents, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee. 65
Dirty exterior? Don't scrub it. Wet it and forget it. Wet and Forget, the easy outdoor cleaner. Wet and Forget works overtime with Mother Nature to eliminate unsightly black and green stains on the exterior of your home with no scrubbing, power washing, or bleach. Use Wet and Forget on all your outdoor surfaces, including decks, siding, roofs, and patios. Wet and Forget's available in a concentrate or extreme reach OSIM. Purchase Wet and Forget in store or online at Lowe's, Menards, Ace, or Walmart.
Angie's List is now Angie, your home for everything home. With Angie, you can cross your next project off your to-do list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need, and we'll handle the rest. Sending a top pro to get it done. Or browse reviews, compare quotes from pros, and connect instantly, all for free. For everything from routine maintenance to a dream remodel. Because however you want your project done, we'll get it done. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Hi, this is Tom Latham with P. Ernie Concrete Technologies. For years, you've heard me talking about our concrete projects, from stamped and patterned concrete to foundations for commercial manufacturing, driveways to commercial parking lots, even heavily invested in polished concrete for durable and inexpensive long-term service. What you may not know is we have equipment for clearing lots for construction, clearing and cutting land of scrub and underbrush. We cut roads, clear fence lines, clear pond dams, and pretty much any application where land is overgrown. We have mulchers that can grind underbrush into shreds and return it to nature for compost. Our equipment is minimally invasive, not disturbing and not turning your
But at the
property
time
into
go, you're having fun.
necessary. To clean or clear your property, call Penny Earned at 334-284-9292 and let us transform your overgrown property into a manageable and productive one. Check us out on Facebook at Transformers or call 334-284-9292.
It's Dan Bongino every weekday from 2 till 5 p.m. right here on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
Okay, before I get back to my last few callers of the morning, let me tell you a little bit about Montgomery's Men's Health. That's right. Listen, hey guys, do you know that having low testosterone levels can affect your day-to-day living? Okay. Well, when you go to your next checkup, you might want to get a testosterone test too. And there's one place in town to get it done quickly, cheaply, and with almost immediate results. That's right, Montgomery's Health. Okay, is where you go. Now you want to go check with them, 440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. That's right. A lot of guys suffer from low T. And who knows? Even you, even me. We don't know. We got to go get it checked out. So give them a call for $99. They'll check your PSA, your testosterone, because if you're feeling all tired and all messed up, if you can't get things done like the used to things done, if your friend is looking at the ground rather than looking at you, then you may want to give these guys a call. 440-3663. That's right. Don't deal with low T anymore. And it may even help you lose a little weight if you need to. Okay, testosterone is what makes a man a man. All right, let me take my last couple of calls here and see who's there. Don't forget. Oh, that number's 334-440-3663. Let me see real quickly. Good morning. Who's this? Yes. Well.
Released him. They brought him up from Monrovia, and he saw Dr. Underwood got an eye exam, and I made him some glasses. And I actually videotaped him. At the time, DJI was on Hull Street, approximately where the Maxwell Credit Union's drive-through is, right across the street. And I had a gift shop on the other side. But you know, he had some interesting things to say. Now the other was really
I call we're talking about crime and all that. When are we going to take the military and industrial complex to The Hague and try them for war crimes? Do you realize that, I mentioned to you about a week ago that I was in Quang province and you could see Laos and the Ho Chi Minh Trail. And we were up there to keep the North Vietnamese from supplying the South Vietnamese. So if Putin and Biden and the central banks and all these people have got a deal going, well, they're going to let him supply people over there with weapons. What is going on? Have you ever thought about that?
No, there's too much for me to think about.
It's that sick if you think about it. Anyway, that's my contribution this morning.
All right, appreciate it. Good morning. Who's this?
Hey, Kevin. Good morning. How you doing?
Fine.
Yeah, just want to say I support you on, the judge, making the decision or the possibility of making the decision to grant the inmate or what have you a stay, or whatever, a reprieve or what have you. Because my thing is, if we believe that life is precious and that life is valuable, not only as a fetus but just life in general, then we should be on the side of life.
Yes.
Because you have many who talk about life and how important it is, and everyone deserves a shot at life. So yeah, I'm hoping that, like I said, the judge, like I say, is not politically connected.
Right,
or anything.
right.
You don't have a dog in the fight. He's just the referee, and that's the way we look at it. But I just want to give my 2 cents,
Right.
and I continue to.
Appreciate it. I will try my best to get him on the air because I do think this particular issue needs some more, need to see the light of day. If in fact, again, I don't know Judge Drake Neighbors. I don't know who he is. I remember when he took over for, I believe he took over for Chief Justice Roy Moore back in the day, and which I think we screwed Roy, but that was a system that they had in place at the time, so we got to deal with it anyway. And I got to find more about this guy named Dean. I guess it's Otto. Well, I'll check him out. They say he's leading. They say he's leading the governor right now in the race. I find that kind of hard to believe, but you never can tell. I mean, stranger things have happened. But my day today was find Drake Neighbors and try to get them on the air and talk about this issue. Okay. Anyway, time's up. And like Mr. Fife used to say, I thank you for yours. And remember, no matter what happens today, it's a great day to be alive.
Amazing News Update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning.
I wanna make it with you.
Here's what's happening this Monday. The manhunt is expanding for an escaped Alabama inmate accused of murder, and the corrections officer who was missing with him. The pair, Casey White and Vicky White, who are not related, walked out of the jail west of Huntsville Friday morning. The Lauderdale County Sheriff's Office is expected to hold a press conference on this today at 10:30 a.m. Martin Saturday afternoon. Investigators say the victim
Go back to the desk and see.
President Joe Biden will be touring Lockheed Martin in Troy tomorrow. That's a facility that makes weapon systems, including anti-tank missiles. The U.S. is currently sending.
I wanna make it with you. Oh, well, gotta go, guys. See you later.